When the moon climbs high and the world's asleep, we gather round where the secrets creep. From fantasy lands to mysteries untold, we chase lost legends and stories of old. Raise your glass and pull up a chair. There's magic and madness floating in the air. Every page we turn reveals something new, a thousand adventures waiting for you. Light the candles, set the mood. Tonight we're diving deep where the midnight Lord Society, reading between reality, books and brews and memories, lost in literary mysteries. From the emerald realms we proudly roam. Every story feels like home. Come join the family and see. Welcome to the Midnight Lore Society. Jen the teacher brings wisdom and wit. Dark Kaiju's got theories that perfectly fit. Crits are searching every hidden clue, and Rain the overlord sees right through you. We laugh, debate, and analyze, uncover truths behind disguise. Adult conversations flowing free, as wild as imagination can be. Turn the pages, pour another round. The night's just getting started. We're the Midnight Lore Society, reading between reality, books and brews and memories, lost in literary mysteries. From the emerald realms we proudly roam. Every story feels like home. Come join the family and see. Welcome to the Midnight Lore Society. Part of the collective family, dreamers, creators, community. Different voices, one grand tale, setting our imagination sail. Through every chapter, every line, hidden meanings we will find. So gather close and stay a while. Let's journey many midnight miles. We're the Midnight Lore Society, where stories spark eternity. Books and friends and fantasy, sharing every mystery. From the Emerald Realms network bright, keeping stories alive tonight. The collective stands with unity. Welcome to the Midnight Lore Society. The drinks are low, the books are closed, but the stories never end. Until next time, welcome to the Midnight Lore Society.
It's red. The light is red. What's good, y'all? Welcome to episode 2, Midnight Law Society. We got Jen the teacher, the infamous. But we got some flakes from the original crew, just so y'all know. So they ain't gonna be rocking. So we got Jackson Rains coming in. You like two people, brother, just so you know.
Appreciate it.
And then last but not least, Rain is with us also. What up, Rain?
Hello, sir. How's it going? Thank you for having
Feeling
me.
like a villain? You already know. So last episode we did Imaginary Friends, which was the prequel to this whole shindig, this whole series. This time around we went into Running with the Demon. What y'all thought
Mhm.
about the book?
I really loved this book and it made me want to just start the next book immediately. The character build up, I cried. I was it got me really emotional. And then I guess because the book was written in 1997, there were lines in there that like I was thrown back by. I was like, that's the same shit I said back then. Oh my God. And like I just kind of really understood like Nest and what she was going through.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Rain?
I liked it. I mean, even not that it was written so long ago, but there's parts of it that if you look beyond just what's being said, how some of the stuff kind of feels like it's applying to today. So
Mhm.
that's that's what kind of you know, if you start
Yeah.
looking at the meanings and stuff like that, that's kind of where my brain went with that.
Oh, I
I
agree
see
with
that.
you. Like the themes are timeless, right?
Yeah,
Definitely timeless among what you can see. So I agree.
that's a good book. All right, Jackson, what you think, brother? How was the book for you?
I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. The whole, concept of the residency and the whole leverage with the demon, and basically like the whole part of it being in Illinois kind of is like a resonation with me for it. So I
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
liked
I
it when it
figured
came to that.
you was gonna like that whole demon aspect to it. You know what?
Oh,
Speaking
you
of the
already
demon
know.
aspect, that's a fact. Speaking of the demon aspect, let's go with the first question. Based off the book, what do y'all think? Is evil born or created?
Mm,
Because the book constantly makes it seem like, it could go either way with this. So I'm
right.
curious on your opinions. Which way do you think it can go? Is evil born or is evil created?
I,
Oh, I'm gonna say that evil is. It almost can two things be true at once, but I would say that they show a lot of creation happening from something that was already born. Is probably the best way I would describe it. Like something was already born inherently evil, and even and that has like stemmed throughout different characters, and that's turned them. I would say it that way.
Well, let's put it this way: if it's born, then the demon was looking for specific people there because it's born. Or does it not make a difference, and the demon just can corrupt whoever he decides to work on?
I think the demon can corrupt almost anybody it decides to work on, except for certain people that already have certain awarenesses of it and to it and protection in place from it.
But I will tell you the way he did it, the little bit that they showed us, and as we get into more books into the series, you'll see a little more of it. But the fact that the way they did it, he was smooth with it.
Mhm.
he was very, yeah.
But that
It was
almost
the
makes
illusion
me
of the
lean.
choice of, oh, we got to do the riot
The,
for the you know
no doubt. But the fact that he was so smooth with it, which is why I probably would lean to it was created. Like he was doing that. Like whoever you put in front of him, if you gave that man enough time, he's gonna wear that down.
Mm.
but
You
all
know
right,
what I'm
That
saying?
demon, brother, that demon is what do you call he reminds me of a Loki, like a trickster god, sharing faces, manipulating people, stuff
Mhm.
like that,
Well,
etc. But I
if
don't
you
think
remember,
I
the
think
book said
he's
it. He
more
had
of
to
a
do that.
servant
No, I'm saying if you
because
remember,
he's a
the book
servant of
said
the
it.
void. I think he's like a servant of the void. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's a servant.
Well, no, well, yes, but he had to do that also because that was part of his hustle. If you knew what, remember John Ross said it. If you know what's coming, it's not as potent. It's not as effective, so to speak.
Right.
So that's
Right.
his best power, basically. Let me look like this. Let me like from like Sophia, man in yellow. They ain't never gonna see this coming. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. And
Right.
it was working for homie. but but again, some people noticed Graham knew. As soon as
Graham
that
knew.
man stepped out, Graham knew. Graham was like, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
But she didn't know at first though, right? Because it tricked her when she was younger and it tricked her daughter. So it definitely has this like um Wheel of Time trickery kind of thing playing in. Not the Wheel of Time. What is it? The Witches of Mayfair kind of trickery involved.
Well, this also tells you how long-lived that demon is. That demon
Mm,
was Ness, was ran through with Ness, had dealing with Ness, dealt with Ness moms, dealt with Ness grandmoms.
right.
You know what I'm saying? At the same point, I think you're right. I don't think the grandmother realized until Ness. So
Right.
maybe I
Even
think she would have spazzed out if she knew that the daughter was, what I'm saying, messing with that.
right. I mean, it's like she got enough awareness to realize when she was dealing with him because that's how she kind of stopped using all of her magic, right? Because she knew that that's what the demon really wanted. But I don't think she really realized what was going on with her daughter. And it wasn't until the end that she kind of really realized what was the deal with her granddaughter and how it was the same demon and she was able to recognize it at that point. But when she was younger, she didn't recognize it. She fell prey to him too. She recognized it before it could really get her, but it set something up when it couldn't win. It played the long game with the Gran.
You know what? And as crazy as it would seem, that makes sense to me. Anytime you see stuff with demons and all that, demons know that they gotta play the long game.
Yeah. He
Ain't nobody, it's your soul or whatever you want to put on the line. Ain't nobody giving that up willingly.
right.
Everybody, I don't care what religion you is, you know what it is dealing with a demon.
Hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? So they gotta play the long game. They gotta go slow and steady, feed you the candy. Ooh, piece
Right.
of candy. Ooh, piece of candy until they wrap your ass up.
Yeah.
Right. So definitely a setup and a long game was played. And I think that's like I think the Grand kind of almost didn't expect it because she's like, it'll never come back and mess with me again. But I don't think she took the lineage that she had that we see be used as a weapon for a choice at the end. I don't think she foresaw that happening. And the demon kind of did. That's part of the long game that he played. And he figured watching, I'm sure, the way society's unfolded, oh, people kind of do things for themselves. And that's how he's kind of able to start the shit that he does with the community members in the steel mill. So I think he kind of uses that a little bit also with Gran.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. But it's funny you just made it. Okay, so something that you just said made me think. So, if, about back to Graham. So Graham, we came to the conclusion, or at least me and you speaking, decided Graham probably knew what Ness was around because anytime Ness brought up her father, Graham used to get nasty. Ness
Right.
made it very obvious that was the case. So at that point, I think Graham knew.
Correct.
Why didn't she tell Ness?
That's what I want to know. Why didn't she tell Ness? And I think even
That was
um
grimy.
that was grimy because she didn't tell her a lot of things that she should have told her. I think she thought, well, if I got rid of it, it's not going to ever come back. It won't mess with us. And I thought that that was kind of um, not only selfish, but that was like she thought beyond herself. Like that was like I don't know. Like you didn't have that. She didn't have that much power. The power she had, she chose to kind of not use it and let it kind of go extinct. And she thought that that would make her family off limits. And I think that that was really selfish, thinking that you can do all of that on your own and not really realizing that she should have spoken with her daughter and her granddaughter about things. She probably could have saved her daughter's life, and Ness would have been way more prepared.
But that's also what
Facts.
people do, unfortunately. When they try to bury the past, whether all the good stuff they want to praise, but when they do bad shit and stupid shit, instead of they almost try to hide it. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying, that's also human nature. Is it's kind of like, well, if I pretend it didn't happen, it might not actually come back to bite me in the ass.
Right. It's crazy, right? We say you should know history so you don't repeat it, but yet no one wants to share it, so they're just doomed to repeat it.
That's
That
everything.
Yeah.
Even from
Yep.
how many seasons it took them people before they started sharing what's happening. Nobody wanted to be like, yo, I'm seeing some crazy shit. Y'all seeing the crazy shit?
Exactly.
All right, so we brought up Nest. So okay, can children carry the weight of saving the world? Because clearly that's where this book goes. And as we get deeper into it, I feel like the word is a little bit of a pedo. The word keep trying to enlist these young cats. So Ness is 14 years old during this book. Is it fair that she has to make life-changing decisions that adults in and around her cannot?
So if you're asking people in 2026, you'll get a much, much different, I think, answer than somebody that you're asking that was from 1990s and 80s where things were different with children. Right? So we had so many tropes of children being like the heroes, even now with like to kill like the what is it called? The Hunger Games, right? And Divergent and those series, even Twilight. We still have children that are doing all these crazy things to save the world. So I for the purpose of the book, no, I don't think that's impossible. I think if she would have been any younger, it would have been bad. But being in that formidable years, because usually saving the world requires you to confront your identity and confirm who you are in order to make that sacrifice. And that coming of age really falls in that adolescence era.
But if you remember, she mentioned that she's been dealing with this since she was younger.
Since she was
Remember,
6, she
remember
said
the
she remembered
feeders?
seeing them.
Yeah,
And yeah,
the feeders. She remember Pick,
hmm
which is a great callback to Imaginary Friend. My boy Pick still rocking,
they're still rocking, pick, love it.
still rocking strong. I'm still trying to figure out if she live on the same street as Holmes. We know he alive, but
Right.
he's somewhere around. And
Yeah,
Pick in this book makes a comment. It's not. Some people can, say some people can see me. I just don't know why he can see me. Type shit.
right, right. And that was one of the things I loved about this book as well. We got to see like Wreath, right, and some of the other characters and then get explored. I also like Two Bears a lot, but you know, bringing back these characters, these fantasy, these fantastical creatures really piques your interest because you really want to see what their limits are and how they can help. Even John Ross being, Knight of the Word, at one point he has magic, but it's useless because of how he's allowed to use his magic, which is for destruction and
Well,
it's not going to help him in that one specific moment. So it really
oh,
kind
there's
of
always
shows
going to be rules.
what.
There's always going to be rules to magic. What story, book, what movie with magic have there not been rules? There's always
No,
going
a
to be
hundred,
some type
a
of rule.
hundred percent. But that's one of the things I loved reading about this was finding out what those roles were and how things kind of connected. And because this is book one of three in this trilogy, which is going to set up the Shannara Chronicles, so it really was interesting on how they started really giving that detail in this book.
Facts, facts.
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
may I the all the mythologies and religions that I can point out of this book? Can I list them real quick?
Yeah,
Absolutely, I
go
love
for it,
when you
brother.
do this.
Okay, so Nest is pretty much the Roman myth of a sacred place, being like a genius, a divine child, right?
Mm,
And it's like a choice between the light and the shadow. John Ross is like more of a prophet, like Jeremiah, Cassandra, and even though he's a knight, he's like kind of like in the Roman forest they depict him they would depict him as a Scythian hobgoblin or a brownie, and that's British folklore. A wraith and fetch, um, like a guardian spirit, notorious being like just being grumpy, homing the lands, hidden spirits, all that different type of stuff. The void is more like he's a combination, so he's like not like a Satan type character, but not of the Abrahamic faiths. Like he's just like not he's like a temperament replacement with of chaos and corruption, not the like exact archetype of Satan. Now the feeders are more like hungry ghosts of the Buddhist Hindu tradition, like a preta. They're always hungry, never satisfied, scraps of human misery, negative energy, stuff like
See
that.
that? Yep,
right,
I could definitely see that. They love that. How many people they wrapped up, and the people don't even see them. They just getting wrapped up by shit you can't even see.
right. Which is crazy because you know that that's leading to a lot of the deaths that are happening in the community, and which is feeding the void and then making the demon happy because that's the work that he has to do. But yeah,
And while I will say he's devil-esque, he's clearly just a demon. Because as we get deeper into the story, there's going to be more demons like him.
Right, and that
And
makes sense.
yeah, we tend to see different versions though. I took it as I was reading it, the depth that these people sunk. Because if you remember when we first met the demon in this book, he clearly was human at one point.
Yes, and he says that he was human at one point, but at this point he can't remember any of those human emotions or anything human about him.
So
Yes.
this is
Yes.
basically saying that us as human, if so again, back to the first question, is it created or is it born? Because this person as a human basically became so dark and evil, he was able to shed his humanity
Mhm.
and literally become dark and darkness incarnate or whatever the case you want to consider it.
Well, for me,
So
we're
he's more like the. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
no, you go.
I just wanted to say something real quick. He's more like the architecture of evil. You know what I mean? Like Yagabeo, the blind god from Gnosticism, the blind idiot god of Azazoth when it comes to HP, the one that's allegedly dreaming everything, and this, but the whole structure is he's pretty much built it.
Okay, like the architect of the actual of like the void itself, you mean? Or of the
You know what?
town?
That make a lot of sense because at no point in time, or at least, because I read these books years ago, I ain't even gonna hold you, but I don't remember them actually putting a face to the void to the void like they did to the word. They gave us something that we knew was the word, basically.
Right. They
And
do. They make the demon. They make him. They make the void sound like it's like the nothing from the never-ending story, like something you can't really see.
Yep.
exactly, like it's just an endless entity of, you know what I'm saying, like an endless, just evil in general.
I
Right.
took it as like the whole complete architecture of the complete evil. Is how I
Right.
took it.
So I think that's what's born, and then from the void, things are created.
Okay? Okay.
So
Would
I
you take
think
that deal?
no,
Ah, none of y'all? Jackson, would you take that deal? Ultimate power, living,
nope,
basically immortal,
nope.
Yeah, of
but you
course.
got to shed your humanity.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I probably would. At some point, it all depends on the point of my life. Like if I'm done or whatever, then yeah, I would do something like that. You know, why
All
not?
right, he said,
As
"Fuck
long
it,
as I'm not
everybody
evil.
goes down now, baby."
I have to have lost all my faith in humanity for me to take that deal and give up completely on humanity. That would definitely be a deal breaker for me.
Because that's basically what you're doing. You
Right.
literally,
Yeah. You would
even
have to
though,
do it
wait a
like
second.
during Armageddon when you know the world is gonna be fucked completely. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry.
Right.
Now, but at
Pardon my
that point,
French.
it's Armageddon. I know God coming. I'm definitely not giving up my humanity. That
Right.
Lord, I love you. I love you,
Word.
God.
I don't know why he was talking to me. I didn't hear him.
I didn't even look at him, Lord. Get his ass.
Word.
I don't want
Word
nothing
up.
to do with that man.
That's a fact. What? I didn't even know. What? Nah, I walked away. Get him, God. Word up. Fuck out of here with that shit. But
But you,
basically, they're setting up as good versus evil. It's the word versus the void. It's the lady versus, well, numerous demons as we see. But she
right.
chooses her warriors, and those are the knight of the word. Right now, we see John Ross. Do you think he's the only one she chose?
No.
Do you think there's other knights out there right now?
Yes, I do.
Because he clearly makes it seem like it's just him.
And I do think that he thinks it's just him. But I don't think he doesn't necessarily need to know all the plans and the workings and the operation. She doesn't give him like all these details. She just gives him what his task is. And I think
You,
that she's given other people a task and she has him specifically gives him directions to go back to the airport to fly back to this town and then go back to his hometown because that's where the task and the work is. Just like that's not the only demon, that cannot be the only knight. She has knights spread out all over the world, right? Globally, internationally, because we know that I forget where exactly it is, but he has to fly to London and then fly to the States from there.
London. You
Or
know
he
why it's
flies to
London, right?
England, right?
Have you realized why? Who's the lady?
N- n- I just know what her name is in the book, what they say. I guess maybe not.
Yeah. Terry Brooks basically is connecting King Arthur and the Lady in the
Right.
Lake. They're
And the
trying to
lady
say
in the
this
lake.
person's been doing this for centuries.
That makes sense. I can see that 100%.
This is the person that she constant, and that's why she started throwing names out. If you remember when she first spoke
Yes.
to him,
Yes. I knew I should have
even
looked up
the
her
dude,
name.
even the dude that was there fishing. Remember the fishing dude?
Yeah.
And he first peeped that dude, and he just looking at that dude, and he knew something was off. Like, yo, I don't know. And she said that was one of my dudes too. And when he realized who that person was in history, this man was a king, a murderer, a killer, a scoundrel, but he worked for good and did what he had to do for the lady, for the word. But yes, I agree with you, Jen. There's no way I believe that he's the only
Right.
one. That wouldn't even make sense. That would be fighting a losing battle one night against. I'm already telling you there's numerous demons, so that don't even make no sense.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I wish that we would know more about it. I mean, if I'm sure if he had more times and can split himself, there would be more to the universe. But I definitely think that there are other knights out there. What's curious to me is if there are other knights out there, how many of them, and maybe I'm getting ahead of this book and myself just because we've spoken about it before, but how many of them or all of them had to have failed for the world to be where it is when we finally get through this series?
And I agree
Okay.
when you guys are talking about like there's got to be more nights and stuff because if in my interpretation there are because I can think of wasn't Sir Simon or whatever his name is Lawrence was it? He was the one that recruited John in the first place, and then you meet Angel Perez and Logan Tom. So you already have those guys out there, and I think some of them might even be in future books. But they
I
have
do you
like
one
mentioned
better.
it and foreshadowed it.
I do you one better. Angel Perez is a girl, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was a girl too.
Yeah, Angel Perez is a girl, and it's funny because I have a friend named Angel Perez, and he's a dude. Woo! When I read this book, I got his ass.
And the name is so like, the name could really go either way. It really, really could. But I
Fact.
assumed because maybe because I'm thinking of from other things that we're doing right now, I've been thinking a lot about duality, and plus we have the word and the void. So, female, male. So I'm thinking that there's a duality element that's woven in through the themes of this book.
Definitely, definitely. So okay. So why do you think he decided to Terry Brooks decided to set this fantasy in a small town? Why not New York or something like that?
I think it's well, I think it's at that time, considering when it was written, I keep going back to that. So keeping that in the context, it's really to show that these things can happen anywhere and everywhere. It doesn't have to be in this main stuff. Evil can be in these little home, like these very comfortable homestead-like areas that you never think these things would happen. These things happen just because they don't make mainstream news. This can happen anywhere to any type of person, any type of community. It kind of reaches that's the kind of impression that it gave me being set in Illinois in the 1990s.
Okay. I can see that. You know how I took it? I took it again. This goes to the demons movement.
Mm.
You know how hard. Think of New York City. Who paying mind to somebody trying to, get your ass out of here, homie. I'm busy. I got to do this. I got to do that. He not giving. He don't have enough time to. Now you go to this small town where everybody know your name. Everybody's your buddy. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Or everybody think they're your buddy, but that I feel that make it easy. Look how easy your man Tito. He started tearing up that shit bit by bit, and he walked in what 3, 4 days before he started chopping that whole town up.
Right. So yeah, that does actually make sense. Like even think about from like you still need like a smaller community in order for you to be able to manipulate and kind of get to really know them and for things to be effective when it comes to cause and effect. Yeah, so I do actually think that's definitely a huge element. I wasn't even thinking of that, but that's definitely a major part of it.
Well, for me though, this is I might go off on a few tangents, so I apologize.
No, no, bring it.
Reel me in. So for me, this is just the part of the battle that we're seeing because, like you were saying before, there's demon. This isn't the only demon. There's demons. There's more demons. So this is just the battlefield that we're right now listening to or reading, not as opposed to that they still have people in New York or wherever in all the cities. This is just one of the like the hubs that they're trying to control, and to show it's going to happen even in this small town. Not that it's not happening in the big cities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I can
for
definitely see
me,
that also.
it's and I'm trying to go back to what you were saying. I think all people are born with evil and good. It's just what gets nurtured. So if you nurture the bad, then you got the evil side. If you nurture the good, that's where the knights come, you know, potentially are going to be, or the demons. They're just trying to pull as much of the evil out of you as they possibly can, put you in these, scenarios where you feel like you have to do this when you really don't, like the Union guys. They didn't have to do that, you know what I mean? But they're showing, hey, if we force them to do this instead of, doing something else, let's try to kill the guy. Um, that's where my brain's going with it. It's like they're just trying to show this one battle, and kind of like where I go, my brain kind of goes to with the knights. It's almost like I don't know if you guys remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They
Yes,
had
of
all they
course.
had all Slayers, all these girls were born Slayers, but there's only going to be one at it, like
At a
in
time, and
at a
one per
time.
generation or something like that.
I don't remember the exact thing, but it's
Meaning,
something to that extent. Yeah. So that's how like my brain's working is like, yes, Ness is going to be that one that potentially can seal the void and everything like that. But there's still going to be other people lined up, or they're fighting their own battles in that area. I'm not 100% sure, but something along those lines. It's kind of how my brain goes.
Yeah, I can
I,
see
I,
I
that.
agree with
But
you
that's the
100%.
secondary.
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. No, no, go for it,
I,
bro.
I agree with you 100% when it comes to everything, but I take it as in so Terry is from like a basically he's from a small town place. So he likes to the setting basically of a small town when you have your neighbors or your best friends, your own backyard and shit like that. He likes it to be, it can't be real a big city if you wanted something like that. So it's got to be a very small town where everybody knows you and stuff like that. And he was from a town like that. And in his opinion, if I'm not mistaken, he believed that horror felt so much more invasive that way. You know, setting in a place like Hopewell. And I just think that it has a lot to do with the setting and it just makes things more interesting if there's everybody you damn near know in this town that because back then, well not in 94, but back in the times where these people are doing this, there's no really like it is today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody knew everybody down the block and stuff like that, or from a certain mile radius, they knew each other by name and walked to each other and stuff like that.
right.
So in a small place like this, everybody knows each other and you're cool with everybody. That's what the demon wants to do.
Yeah, plus things are more impactful that way, right? Because
Yes,
everybody knows
yes.
everything affects everybody because everybody's tied in together. Where something that's more of an urban-like setting, things aren't really tied into everybody because everybody there is so scattered and so into whatever they're doing and minding their own business. It's not the same. In these smaller towns, I agree with you. Everybody's kind of nosy and knows what's going on with everybody because there's a smaller population to mind. And because of that,
Yeah.
everybody's affected usually because they know who's opening the stores, who's working in that factory. Everybody lives in that town. It's just more connected.
Agreed. And a big city is gonna, let's just face it, you're gonna hide most of the noise. But
Exactly.
enough. Yeah.
See that.
Yeah,
But
we're like,
let's not forget, he also really came there because he wanted Ness.
all right, because he wants that power that he couldn't get way back when he first met Gran.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was the whole reason he wanted Graham. That didn't
Mhm.
work. He came back for the daughter. Whatever messed up there, the daughter died, got killed, whatever the case is. Maybe she sacrificed herself for him
I
not to get the power.
I think she figured out what her mom did, and she sacrificed herself because she couldn't do what she didn't have enough time or couldn't figure out how her mother did what she did, so she just threw herself off the cliff.
What did you think of the explanation that the mother gave, the grandmother gave, that their family has power?
Um, huh, I felt like it was really kind of late on. I know that it kind of really kind of catalysted and helped her, but I thought it was still vague. She still has secrets. I don't think it was all of it. Like it just still felt because of the way they set her up, it was hard to see that arc switch for me. I don't know how you guys felt about it. Did you feel like there was still more that she just didn't disclose? Did you I felt like she was just so harsh about everything.
I swear she was a Puerto Rican grandma, yo.
Yeah, she
I
was
was waiting
mad
for the
harsh. She was like,
bonfitazos.
"God
I
Yeah,
was
damn,
waiting for
man."
the
She did.
bonfitazos to
I
come.
agree with
Como
that. Yep.
yeah, como si fuera mi abuela. I was like, mad and then I'm remembering, like, the 90 context of 97s. I'm like, definitely, like, some old school boomer that doesn't owe you no explanations, gives you the bare bones minimum, still holding secrets, and wants to tell you stuff, and I'm like, it just felt so like, you have to remember, like, those people loved you and wanted to protect you, even though they were so cold to you and gave you no information with no affect. And that kind of really came across in the book. It was just cold, harsh, and just, I don't know. It would have been more impactful if she would have just tried to pretend like she cared and was nicer, but I guess that might have not been realistic or believable either. It's just cold and harsh, and it was just a big shock to begin with. And I know, like, she had clues leading up to it, but still, the way it came out and in the timing of it, I think the timing of it was also kind of important. It was
But
kinda like, well, shit's about to go down, so here's the information I probably should have told you, like, 5 years ago.
That's a
but
fact.
that's
But
No
only
preparation.
because shit's about to go down.
And only because shit's about to go down, like and, like, I feel like she's telling her that in the back of her mind, she's like, "Please forgive me because I should have told her this 10 years ago. I was just too fucking afraid because I was just hoping this would never happen because I was delusional, but I should have known better." Like, that's what I feel like she was telling herself in her mind, and she's, like, being cold and harsh and giving her this, like, this shocking information, and again, only because of what was going down.
and
That's a
like
fact.
that's the sad part is if she actually said all this stuff to her before, like, don't use your magic, especially to hurt people or to affect people. You know, that's
Right.
if she had just come out and said this, open book, not and said about the past and like try to give you half this stuff probably wouldn't even have happened.
So my question is, do you think that the granny was being selfish or vain or like just more too absorbed in herself, thinking that she had fixed and gotten this problem away and unrealistic to what really was going down with like Caitlyn? Like even though she knew what it was, still like denying it that she still had power and can fix it. Because that's what I feel like that she was holding on to, which is why she wouldn't want to tell Nest until she realized
So,
like she couldn't. And again,
well,
it was too
so
little, too
I
late.
I,
do
I
do
think
you not
that
think she had power?
And I think she forgot kind of like, I don't know. She kind of just hoped it didn't have to be used again or like she needed it because what she did before when she was younger was enough. And even though what happened to her daughter Caitlin proved to her that it shouldn't have been, she still was hoping on that it would still be enough. And I felt like that was really that's like a boomer thing, right? Like a lot of the old people are like, I fixed a problem, it should have been fixed. It's like, okay, well, it broke again. I don't
Yeah.
know how it could break. I fixed it the first time because it fucking broke again. Like, like, why are you so delusional and thinking like just because you fixed it one time, it's gonna be perfect and done forever? Like that's to me, like I don't know. I guess I have that issue with my own personal experiences with older people that have done things once and they don't think that they have to do that again to fix it. So I don't know. I felt like Gran just decided to smoke and drink, hoping shit would never happen again until it did.
Well, I think, yeah,
I
well,
think
I
that
think the smoking and the drinking was to block out some of the shit she had. 'Cause she was gangster back in her day too.
that was from
Yeah,
the
but
shit that she been through with the monsters that she already encountered. But I think that she was telling like she was giving half of the truth, I believe,
right.
and I think she intentionally left out like the monsters and the encounter and shit like that on purpose because she wanted her to have power without trauma, but she didn't have no choice at this time. She
Yeah.
had
Was
no
it
choice.
really power without trauma or just like embarrassment?
I think she really didn't want her to go through what she went through in her own little particular
Exactly.
way.
That's what I think exactly. It was a weird. awkward trying to protect her, basically. Because
Well,
I
yeah,
think
because
actually,
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
she knew that he was going to come back eventually.
She did. I
That's why.
think she
Okay,
did.
you remember the scene with Grams and Rafe?
yes,
You
and
see
yes,
how quick she went to no fear, no
right.
fear,
No fear.
no. Ness was shook with Rafe. Ness was like, "Yo, I don't know what it is. It's Graham's like, where's it at? Over there. All right, I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
no fear. That tells you she's G, and that also
right.
tells me she had power. Ain't
I
no, I don't give a fuck
agree.
how G you is. You ain't walking to some demon dog or whatever the fuck it was out in the woods or whatever. You ain't just
And
gonna
I
walk
think,
up to
and
that shit and
I
look
also
that shit
think
in the
that
eye.
she was trying to pass on like her legacy while keeping her secrets at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So
Yes,
I'll say this much: she definitely did something at that point. When she
agreed.
turned around and Ness asked, "Is it good?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's just good." She did something at that point. We'll get those answers, but she did something at that point.
Well, that kind of goes back to like what Jen was saying, where the old timers like, well, I already fixed it. Why does it have to be? It doesn't have to be fixed again. You know?
Well, being the fact to me, knowing what comes next, that to me was the point. Like Grams was like, "Yeah, I got this, I got this, I got this." When she went and dealt with Rafe,
Yeah.
I think personally that's when she turned around and was like, "Oh shit, I don't got this."
Exactly. Exactly, and I think a lot of boomers kind of are at that stage where they're like, "I've been doing this for years. I've done this before. I can do this." And they don't realize that the limitations that they now have because of time or because of what they've done to themselves or how they've tried to suppress what they were hoping wouldn't come back in their lifetime, but now has. And because they've dealt with it before, they think they can do it again, but can't. But then don't pass on all the information needed for the next generation to be successful and build off of everything you knew. Except, they give you selected stuff so you can survive. There's a difference between surviving and telling me everything I know, so I can build upon that to be more successful than you.
Right.
Hmm.
And that's to me selfish. Like you want the next generation to build upon you to be better than you, not hold secrets so that they can maybe survive to be where you were. The whole point is to always continue to progress, and I think that Gran kind of caters that, and I haven't read the other books, so, keep going. I have the other book I'm starting it tomorrow, so I wanted to get through this without knowing anything so I can have a fresh take on it.
Yeah, no, that's why
So,
I'm not gonna blow anything up. But just
yeah,
keep in
I have the
mind,
book
to
I have the
me,
book like, I'll probably even start it when we're done with the stream. I got the book ready to go in my hot little hands. Please don't ruin anything for me because I'm dying to start
nah,
the
I would
next
never.
book.
I would never.
I
Because I
love
know
this
how I
series so
felt
far.
reading them. And I just know, to me, that was the point when I felt she realized, oh shit.
Yes,
You know
and
what I'm
and
saying? But
and I do think she had an "Oh, fuck, oh, shit" moment and had that realization, and again, mostly a little bit too late, a little too little too late. Even though she had it, there was something there in her arc that was beautiful, but very reminiscent of why sometimes certain generations can't move forward and get locked into this chain of a curse.
okay. I would like to speak a little bit more about the Knights of the Word.
Ooh,
So, first off, John Ross. Clearly, I wouldn't say he was a priest-like dude. You know what I'm saying? He clearly wasn't a good guy, so to speak.
right.
So that right there, I found interesting. So this person that possibly had a checkered past is able to still do good, still be good, still be needed by good to do good.
It was. It
I
was
found
very
that interesting.
It was very when you compare it to biblical things, since we have the word and the void, it reminded me a lot of David. It also reminded me of Mary Magdalene, even though it's not a female, but just the fact that people can get a second chance. It reminded me a lot of the different apostles that we see. So I like that. I like the fact that it doesn't have to be somebody that is perfect. It's somebody that is able to realize the wrong of their ways and be accountable to that and want to serve and making sure that that stays that way.
Yeah.
Facts. And he even said it when it was offered to him. He was like, "Me, I'm not like him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Right,
like that dude."
right.
She just laughed at that shit. Like, you don't even understand what I see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
even like the
ignorant.
scene with like even the whole scene with like him and Josie.
Hmm.
Right,
Hmm.
like, things could like, when she was, like, trying to comfort him when he was, like, all beat to shit after, like, with everything, like, she, like, comforted him and, like, stayed in bed with him, and, like, that was, like, his temptation. Like, he's still human, and but he's trying to do the right thing, and even those little things, even though that wasn't, like, really a big part of the story, it just shows to his character, right? Because you can't tarnish your character because that would slowly snowball, or I guess you'd say, like, black tar ball into, like, this big sin that or something that wouldn't allow him to still be a knight of the word. But the fact that he's able to kind of hold his shit together, recognize things, it shows that he's still human. And that's, I think, one of the hugest distinction between him and the demon. Where even though he's been chosen and he knows that he has this ability and he can have magic, he still remembers his humanity. Where the demon has powers and all this stuff, but had to completely forego his humanity and doesn't even really remember being human.
He's been around so long and doing these deeds that basically is. I felt like the void was, yeah, like the void was taking his humanity.
Yes,
So to him, yes,
piece
to
by
him,
piece.
he's like, "Oh, I got rid of it. I released my." Nah, you didn't release shit. That shit was stripped from you. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? For you to do what you do, that shit was stripped from you.
right, piece by piece without him even realizing willingly he did it, and that's one of the big differences, like, what their free will choices went to, and that's what
Well,
really keeps keeps or releases their humanity.
well, I asked y'all, would y'all be down with the void, with the demon, and for that power? Would y'all be down with the word for that power?
Um, if I had nothing in this life the way John Ross did, then yes, but as a person with a family, no.
But if you think about it, you still would
I
be
would.
fighting for that family.
But you have to forsake
That's
all
just that
like,
he
you have to
would quit.
forsake everything, and you have to I would never be able to see them again, that's what I mean, so, like, if I don't know if I would choose that at this point in time. I'm being honest. Like, I
Well, that's
understand,
Fair
but
okay.
enough.
I'm like,
Nothing wrong. That's hard
But
for a
the
parent to make a
lady's in
decision.
front of you.
Right.
No, yeah, but the lady's in front of you, and she's like, she has needs. She needs you
I
I
I
would do it
I
for my
mean, I
for
power.
guess
it.
I mean, I guess because I know I'd be able to handle it, but I know that, how some people that choose that are, like, tormented because they actually did give something up that was a part of them, like,
I think
having
that's part of
children.
it. I think
It
that's
that
part
would
of it.
that if I had to, like, because I was then yes, absolutely, and then do I know I can handle it? Yes, but it's if it's a free choice, um, I don't know, I'm on the fence. I would choose it, like I said, no matter what, but when it comes to, like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a
Okay,
mom now, and I
let's go
really
this
wanna
way.
see my kid, grow I wanna be there with my child. I can't see myself not being in my child's life, so that would
I
be
think,
huge for me.
I could resonate with that also.
I would say yes without a doubt because, like I said, this is for the world.
I
If I
know.
say no and they lose and we lose and good loses,
Everybody's gone.
everybody's done for. And there's
Right.
no fighting at that point.
You're right, and passing the buck and hoping somebody else just as good as me, which would be the choice, obviously, I'm not trying to make myself bigger, whatever, but you get it,
No,
like,
but
if I
that's
was
why she came to you.
right,
She
so,
came
like,
to you, Mama, because she knows you the best. So
right,
there
so
is
then
nobody better than you.
passing the buck, then, I would have to it would be a hard choice, but then, yeah, because I would wanna eventually save my daughter and her future and my
Your whole
family and
generation
their
and your
future
legacy. It's not
and
for fun.
everything. So, yeah, I would definitely take the choice, and now that I'm thinking about it more, then yeah. I guess, like, I go straight into, like, mama mode, like, I wouldn't wanna not be in my daughter's life, but then in the bigger aspect, the way you and Jason are making it sound, then, yeah, I would definitely do it. If I'm the chosen one, I would not be able to turn down my responsibility as being the chosen one.
And
Because
I
it,
agree with that because in my to see the thing is we did I'm going to go back and touch a little bit back a little further to how you were explaining why is it just why do they pick certain nights in certain places
Uh-huh.
because they pick the people that already have been broken and went through it and they're willing to carry the
Oh,
stain.
Yes.
So
oh,
so most of them like most of them are not going to know how to do certain things, but like John Ross is the clearest example of how to stop the demon and how to do things that would destroy most people, kill innocents, like suffering, moments like that. And certain people ain't going to be able to do that if you're just, I guess, righteous or just pure light, I guess you could say. And that's what I think. That's why I think they pick those. They're depicting them by that.
So would you compare them to apostles? Because that's what I did. I definitely think that John Ross is like an apostle. Like obviously not in the book, but when you compare it to, it's he's very much like an
Yeah,
apostle.
I
And he
understand the
sent them
symbolism, and you're
Jesus.
100% because all of them were just broken bad. None of them were men
Hmm.
of God or anything like that. And he purposely went for those people. So yes, I do. I agree with you 100%.
Right. There are even some elements that make him look very, if you know other books that are out there about the Bible that might not be in the Bible, like the Book of Thomas, the Book of Enoch, the Book of Wisdom. If you know about them, they kind of also depict some of Jesus's earlier life.
The
So I do think
Apocalypse
they,
of Adam, the Book of Judas,
right, yes, Jubilee, exactly.
yeah, the Book of
So some of
Jubilees.
yeah, so some I think that for on a more superficial level, people can look at him as almost like the word is almost related to God, and that John Ross is almost related to a Jesus Christ like figure. But somebody that might dive a little deeper would look at him and kind of realize that there's probably more knights out there because there's more demons out there. Then you would probably compare him more to an apostle, which is how I look at it.
Yes, and also there's more than just one prophet. There's never been just one
Sí,
prophet.
claro.
Jesus
Sí.
Christ was not just the only prophet. David
Mhm.
was before him, then before him was Saul, then before him was Solomon, and then before Solomon, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, and Daniel
Right.
también.
John the
Yep.
Baptist, there was
Yeah, and
Yep.
Daniel también.
Daniel también.
You know
But
what?
yeah.
Let's say this is my theory though. As I was reading this first book the first time around, I got to the point when they introducing John Ross, when they introducing this whole night of the word thing. You see the lady, you hear her talk, everybody that's involved in it. I realized at that point in time, as she's choosing her nights, and I didn't even realize at this time that there was other nights, but I realized that there had to be because of the fact that there was many demons. And he made that clear from the beginning that there was many demons. This was just one demon eating something. That he's done
Mhm.
this before type of thing. So I realized the word was losing. And I'll tell you why I felt this way. The word was losing, and the lady realized that she was not going to be there anymore because there was going to be a point that her power was now just going to go to power her knights. Like her as an entity, her as an actual figure, the thing that he hugged and she hugged him, the thing that brought him to tears was no longer going to be there. It was going to just be her knights. And the reason I came to that conclusion was the dreams.
Mm.
She gave all her knights dreams of the future.
Yep,
But if
because
you realize the way he explained it is every night he was somewhere, every night he was somewhere else. And from that point, he knew what he had to do. Like she was able to give messages without actually being able to give a message. She literally said it in the whole night process. Because
right.
as we meet other nights down the line, we realize they all do that. They all have those nightmares.
You know what it made me
Well,
think
those
of?
night. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that these nights and all the stuff that they're going through, it like I was saying earlier, how it's like a depiction of survival of someone who's being broken. It's like these guys, they pretty much are picked in this world. They're not like being a prophet is not something good. It's more of a curse and a burden to bear than it actually is something like honest, and it's very cruel for for all these beings and people to go through it. So I would easier say it's like the best way I can say it is not a blessing. It's more of a sentence, and they only do good at a cost of their soul because they can do the necessary things that kept them from surviving being broken. Is the best way I could explain it.
You know what? I actually agree with you because those nightmares give them a certain future, and they're now tasked to change that future and not repeat whatever happened that makes that true. They're not just given a listen, you need to do certain things so that way, this doesn't possibly happen. It's not a possibility when you're having these visual images of things that actually are going to happen when you have those prophetic images and you know that those are prophecy, the visions that you have. That's a bigger task than just figuring things out in hopes that there's not a possibility. You know that there is a definite certainty things have been fucked up and you must change them or things are going to be exactly like you already can see. And it almost makes me feel like they've played this through before and they need to go, the lady needs to go back in time to find certain pivotal characters to play a role where if something changed here, like if this was the Concord and Lexington at the turning point of the battle, if I can put a certain night here to change the outcomes, then I have a possibility in the future since I already know what's coming.
Yeah, it'll be a butterfly effect and change. I
Exactly,
completely agree
claro.
with that, Dr. Stop.
See that? So clearly she's taking her shots. Win or lose, she's like, I gotta. And we see that at least with the Nest situation, John Ross never came to Hopewell. I'm
Right.
pretty sure it would be a wrap. Ness would be with the demon, and it would be a wrap.
Right. I agree. I think she would not have figured it out. I think she would have repeated the mistake with Caitlyn, and we don't know if she would, like her mother. We don't know if she would be like her grandmother, be like Caitlyn, or finally, three times the charm. And since three is a very biblical number, it's very possible he would have won with her, for a lack of a better term, like winning or losing. But he would have been able to accomplish his goals with her, I guess I should say, and take that magic that he needed.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. He was extra cocky when he came across her. You know what I'm
Word,
saying? He was like, "Oh yeah,
word,
bitch, I won this
word.
one." He's like, "I
He's like
got
he's
this
like,
one."
3 generations, this shit's been watered down, I got this.
Yeah, fact,
Well, I
and
think it's because
especially, yeah, go for it.
I was going to say, especially because it almost skipped a generation with the the mother slash daughter, whatever, you know, that
Well, did it?
information wasn't kind of passed on.
I don't know if it skipped a generation because I think she figured it out and killed herself because of it, because she couldn't be as strong as her mother and couldn't figure it out
Exactly.
because
That's
her
how I
mother
took
never
it.
told her about it. At least Nest had more inclination of what was going on, thankfully, because of Pick. And even Pick opened his mouth because he was like, "You need to go ask grandmother because I can't tell you all this." But then at a couple points, like he couldn't just hold his tongue, and like then she figured things out and he gave her confirmation. And I don't think Caitlyn got that. I think things were the information was rushed to her, and because her grand never kind of gave her that, and she didn't piece certain things together, she was like, "All right, I can't be my mom, so I'm just gonna kill myself because you can't get my magic."
Exactly. That's how I took it. And I even think that's how Ness took it. Ness knew her mom didn't just kill herself. Ness
Right.
knew there was a deeper story. And
Even
that's
Bob,
why she was
even
always action.
100%. Even her grandfather knew that. Even Bob knew, even though he didn't know what it was, he knew there was more to the story. She would not just kill herself. It was part of their secret.
That's why he got so
I agree.
excited when he met John.
Hmm.
Somebody that know my daughter, oh yeah, come to the house, come have dinner.
Right?
Again, small town. You think they gonna do that shit to you in New York City? You know my
Hell
daughter
no.
from where? From where? Yeah, nah, you don't know my daughter.
Word.
And they definitely ain't gonna be like, come to the house, have dinner. They're gonna be like, all right, man, you have a good day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
say, you come to my house, let's have dinner.
Um, yeah,
Actually, you brought up Pick, so that's a good question. How do y'all feel that they actually Terry Brooks used nature as a character? Because we came from, I don't know if you went back and read it, Jackson. I'm not too sure. But when we read Imaginary Friends, they just hinted on the magic that's in the park.
right.
He actually delved deep.
Thing about Clara we got going on.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, so the park itself is not just scenery; it's actually like alive. And like
Right.
I said,
Right.
Imaginary Friends just hinted on it. This is actually diving deep into it now.
Right.
So
and
you're
even
talking
mentioned it.
about the tree then, the tree
Well, I'm talking about
entity.
everything in the park in general, like the gist
Oh,
of it. Law said it. The demon said there's power in this park. In
Right.
the first book, that power, what Pick said, wasn't it a dragon or some shit?
Yeah, it was a dragon that the kid, what was his name? The little boy had to fight that dragon in order to
Now,
like beat his leukemia. It was like a
now we
white
go.
dragon, but still it
Yes,
was a
yes.
very similar looking like tree. And now we have in this tree trapped this, evil. This evil entity is trapped in that same exact tree that's
This is
oozing
what
out.
I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So now it goes back to what I asked you the first time, Jim, and Rain. Is that dragon real?
I
Because
think
we spoke
because
about it, we thought it was internal. We thought it
right.
was a representation, but
So
clearly that
now
part has power.
so now after reading this book, what I think is that park, because it's alive, that tree's able to find something in certain people. I don't know how it chooses them, but it's able to find something and it's able to manifest whatever illness, sickness, whatever maleficent shit it's going to cause in that person's life. And it's able to contain it and grow because of that person's maybe contact or because they live on that park next, because they live on that street next to that park because they're there so often, something's able to grow and fester and become something that it knows it needs. For example, that little boy that we saw in the novella, and now where what's coming actually out of that tree, what is it called? Montarag or whatever, Montarag, which is an acronym of what is it called? Team wrong. I was looking at the word over and over again. I was reading the book. I was like, if I unscramble that, that spells team wrong or wrong team.
That makes sense. I never did that. That's hilarious.
That's
Okay.
my ADHD brain. I kept reading it and I was like mean to whatever. I was like mean to wrong. I was like me. It sounds like wrong team or team wrong. So it's like things like Montauk is the correct way, but I could not see it the correct way every time I read it. I kept reading team wrong or wrong team.
That's a fact. You know what? Let's get back to the feeders. That's a
Ooh,
hidden evil. If that was going on today, how do you think we would feel about that? You was able to see these, I don't know if they're like little demons or like Jackson said, like a ghost type of thing. But Ness said at certain points where some shit was about to happen, example, when the demon was coming, there was thousands of them shits creeping. Imagine if
yeah.
you was able to physically see that shit.
For one, I think that's got to be scary as shit. The first time, like they really kind of, made me like on the edge with like anxiety and a little bit of fear as I was reading was the church scene. When she saw them all of a sudden, all of them show up in the church, and John Ross was at the church, I was like, oh my gosh, because I could just like get the imagery from the words and reading it. And I was thinking about them, like, I can't even imagine if all of a sudden I saw these shadows, like hundreds of them, like coming into a room. Like, that would just paralyze you with fear because you wouldn't even know where to move. If they're all like coming out of the shadows and coming across, and then obviously if they know you're looking at them or can see them, you don't know how they react to you as you're watching them pick people off or like get around people. It was just I don't know. I think it's very
No,
realistic, but I think there would be thousands of them every day if we
they got
actually
no
did it.
fear neither. They look right at you and then rip into somebody. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, look at me eat this shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to walk outside today in 2026 and not see a lot of them all the time hurting people and be able to survive.
Imagine in
I'd
the
need
city.
serious therapy.
Imagine in the city. There was thousands in a podunk town in Ohio, like Illinois, Hopewell, Illinois, Ohio, wherever the fuck it was at. So imagine in New York. Imagine in Chicago. Imagine, you know what I'm saying? Imagine the amount of feeders that would be there.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to come out my house.
What? I sure as hell would it. I'll be looking out the window like, yo, it's like an ocean. These people's bugging. You know what I'm saying? These people's
Yeah.
wild. But when I first read the book and I got the feeder notion, you know what it made me think of? Yo, you ever seen Ghost with Patrick
Yes,
Swayze?
with Patrick Swayze. I was just gonna say that Ghost and the movie. Michael J. Fox. What was it called? Fright Night something?
Ah, that was a good, great
You
movie
know what I'm
right there.
talking about? Where they're with Michael J. Fox and also Ghost. It's the same type of a deal, like the way the shadows come and there are ghosts that come out and that like rip you and take you away. Exactly like
Yes, yes,
Ghost.
yes.
Exactly like Fright and Ghost. 100%.
But that's something from biblical, right, Jackson? The demon S coming from the ground to snatch you up as soon as you die if you're that evil type of thing.
Yes, that's definitely a thing. And another thing that, if I might add about the feeders, is the feeders. They're like a representation of the parasites of a void. Even though they're like invisible to most, they're pretty much swarming humans and feeding off their anger and fear until it just consumes
Well,
them.
I think they actually mentioned it in the book. They're not really, they're like almost neutral. That's what makes them even scarier. They're not from the void. They're just there to devour the
Like
darkness, basically, that's in us. In us.
the
Yeah.
negative emotions and shit.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
also why the demon was trying to push all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, he was with it. He loved that shit. That shit was entertaining. The chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I kind of read it as since they were kind of not on either side, it made me feel like you said before, like they feed off the scraps. So if the demon is there to take the soul, well, then they have to devour the carcass, right? Because if there's a
yeah,
separation between body and soul, and I think to me that was the purpose of the feeder. They were like the bottom scrape, and when you think about it, if our body is just a vessel, it really is not important. That's the scrap. What's the most important is your soul. And that's what the demon keeps and discards your vessel to the feeders because, bottom feeders.
Right.
that's a fact. But now, how would they react? Like with the okay in the first book, number Pick wakes up Nest, and then not the first book, in the beginning of the book, Pick wakes up Nest. Shorty's up there. Peter's got her ass. They wasn't ripping into her, but they was almost like leading her. Like, yeah, little girl, jump, dumbass. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, jump, so we can rip into your ass when you jump. Right when you jump off this cliff, we gonna rip into that ass. Nest
Right.
just got there in time.
Which makes me think that there's a difference between what happens when certain people, like the people that the feeders were able to attack were people that were already thinking things that were negative, that were negative, and it kind of fed them that so that way it could wind up unaliving themselves or in some way, shape, or form, so that way the soul can go one way, but it can still feed and get the carcass. But it makes me think like, all right, well, if you're have a good soul that can't be taken or is not going to be taken, or maybe it's just banking on every soul always making that bad choice. The fact that we're always going to sin all the time. It's about asking for forgiveness and seeking righteousness.
You see that? We
Agreed.
all need to, all need to do them over another, I'm sure. Okay, you know what? Let me ask you this. So we mentioned the nightmares. So that's the nights able to see what's the future. That's them knowing what's going to happen.
Right.
So the question is, can it really be changed, or they're just basically following what's written already? Is it free will, or is it actually like a destiny? And no matter what he does, they're gonna be fucked.
I have to believe that there's got to be a way to change that. I would think more of we've done this numerous times and this is usually the way it always plays out, but there's still that 1% out of 99 that you can make that better choice and things can change. And I think that's what we're going for. I think it's that underdog because I do think it's possible for that change to happen.
Okay, Jackson, what you think, brother?
Honestly, I think that they can. I wouldn't think, I wouldn't want to think that they wouldn't be able to change things, but I think that eventually, when it's done I guess, in a correct way in the outcome into the shows. I mean, not the show in the books and shit like that. I think that maybe they have to leave it to where it's a possibility. I don't think it's not inevitable, but I think that it's like the knights are basically fighting to maybe stay alive in the world, but it's already decided to end. Like you can't, like the world is going to end eventually. They can't change the world, everything from ending, but they can change everything to the middle. So if you're talking about that, they can. If you're talking about the whole ending completely, like they can't.
I, I
if
almost
if,
think
if that
if they
makes kind of sense, because it's like the future and the dreams. It's like they're not a fixed script or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's more like a I don't know how to a weather report for an incoming storm or something like that. And then the word and everything that makes them believe everything is like the right choice or at the right exact moment that can pivot everything away from the darkness. But yeah, it's fragile. It's like really, there's a lot of other factors inside of everything.
I think that they can definitely change how things work, but if the world has to end no matter what, it might be about how it comes to that because what's going to happen after, that's that cause and effect. So if it ends this certain way, the effect is this is going to be the result of the next world that comes after, which is completely not going to be able to be sustainable. So if we can change the way the world is going to wind up coming to an end, the world that comes after will have a different outcome. And I think that might be part of what the saving grace is.
Okay.
Again, because I haven't read any of the books. So if the world has to come to an end as they know it, what's going to come after, that's got to be a cause and effect. That's the only
Well,
logical thing I can think of.
let's be honest. We know that's definitely gonna happen because we get Shannara.
Right. And again,
So
that's why
that's
I'm
a good way to
assuming
put
the
it.
cause and effect. It's got to be how that Shannara world would play out, or at least start off or come to be. Kind of almost like a Dune.
Okay.
So the only way basically they can change anything is by pivoting the entire world away from it. But is that even possible here?
That's the question.
Yeah,
That's the true question, and we're gonna find out because as you clearly see, this man going all out.
yeah.
This man's going all out. Which is brew. What's up? She just popped in. But
Hey,
okay. So you know
Dana.
what? Let's go this way. Why do you feel Terry Brooks make adults so flawed? Because clearly, all we see is adults failing us. Even the ones that know about the magic fuck up with her. So why do you think he wrote them so flawed?
I think there's a certain innocence that they lose, and I think that that is part of why they forget to do the right thing. And I think that that innocence that's lost is almost exchanged with responsibility and knowledge. If that makes any sense
Jackson,
to
what you
anyone.
think? No, I agree with you.
I mean, that's the only logical thing I can think of, to be honest.
Well, I think he actually did that because adults are flawed.
Oh,
Because a
that
lot of the
too.
stuff, like you said it, a lot of the stuff that happened in the book with
True.
Grams and stuff of that nature, you literally said it. That reminds me of this, and that reminds me of that. Adults are flawed. You know what I'm saying? We are
Right.
flawed.
Right. And we're always constantly put up with dilemmas, with opinions and viewpoints that we form from our own experiences. And then we kind of sometimes see the other side or are made to see the other side and then kind of pitted with this dilemma. And it's that free will choice whether we're willing to change in order for one resolution of that dilemma or we're going to stay stubborn and, you know, kind of you choose another way in that dilemma. And then there's that third option where you can kind of like give a little but not everything, kind of like what Grand does, where it's like kind of hopeful but not enough, but too little, too late. There's a lot going on with the how long can you wait to finally be righteous or do the right thing.
Hmm.
That's a fact. Good.
For
Jackson, what
me,
you think, brother?
That am I on mute? Yeah, yeah. So I say that it's the human weaknesses
Mhm.
that let everybody or everything in. And the whole thing about, like you guys just said, the adults being flawed and stuff like that, I think it gives them entry points and reasons, and he wrote entry points and reasons for the story to progress for the feeders and the demons, you know,
Emotions.
emotions and stuff like that, by making like grown ups so messy and unreliable and shit like that, even
Mhm.
in this world with their children and stuff like that. It just makes everything more desperate.
And I
Uh,
also think that's why it works for like children to be more of that on that trope to save the world because they kind of can see like the ignorance of being a child, but they can see the flaws of what it is to be an adult by what they've experienced, and they
and the,
become at that choice where they need to choose their identity and they
mhm,
need to choose how they're going to continue on as an adult and which like what flaws they're going to have or what flaws that they're going to be susceptible to consciously or subconsciously because of lineage, because of experience, because of nature and nurture.
mhm, I agree.
Rain, what you think, brother?
for me, part of me, I'm gonna say it's the old saying, or where it's kids see shit that the adults no longer see anymore. So
Mhm.
like the magic, the spirits and all that stuff, and that's where my brain goes with it. Is that's why, and that kind of goes back to why Ness is the protagonist, the hero of the book. It's because she still has that innocence, whereas adults have lost. They've Some of them have already gone into the temptation from a demon or two or whatever, just through life. Because none of the stuff that he's showing, he almost makes it like it's a real town where it's not like the storybook, parents where they're perfect parents, perfect marriages. You know, he's showing the flaws of the real world,
Right.
and so that's I don't know. That's where my brain goes with it. It's
Oh, it's very much based off of like real life experiences and things that he's seen and heard and talked about with friends, especially in that time frame in the context of the 90s.
yeah,
That's when a lot of like people started to wake up and see like that whole Gen Zennials, like what I am and millennials, we kind of like woke up to like the realness of what the world was and the bullshit they fed us in high school. And then we realized how our parents pretty much put on a show for us and didn't really tell us like what really was
yeah,
marriage and love and life and trauma and dealing with things. And whenever we asked about it, because it's not like we were oblivious, we were given some figure it out or don't worry about it or
or
because we
fantasy.
said so. So it kind of really leans into that free will choice. Like, you
Yep.
kind of left with here's, the black and white of it and kind of figure it out and make a choice. And we kind of see that here, where now if you're looking at the context of like, 2026 and the new generation, information is so abundant and things are so willingly explained to everybody that the free will choice isn't almost it's almost too informed now compared to before.
Yeah.
Where it's not so much as a free will choice, it's more of an educated choice. I don't know how to explain it, but you wind up having so much more information now than before. Where before you really raced on who you are inside, not the information you just read about and can make a choice because that's the choice you're supposed to make, rather than who you are inside.
Like doing that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So the word is not presented like a traditional religion. And we meant, we speak it like it is, but it's not.
It's
Is it?
not.
What do you think? Could it be more spirituality?
I
instead of an actual organized religion, or you think it's definitely organized like an organized religion within this book?
I don't know so far if it's more of an organized religion. I think that there are protocols and hierarchies that are put in place for certain things at this point. That's what's kind of been revealed. But I do think that there is more of a spirituality, and nature is definitely more incorporated here with magic, and it kind of really involves more of the four elements than a lot of the religions, the traditional religions, even though it shows a lot of parallels to the traditional religions that we've been mentioning, but it also shows a lot of um, the four elements being held up in a religious way. I
What do you
mean,
think, Jackson?
yeah, Jack, what do you think?
You're the religious person.
I think you said it. You're pretty accurate with what you just said when it comes to that. And I'll try not to take those. See, it's like there's no. It's more prime. It's primally spirituality, in my opinion. There's
Mm,
no churches, no Bibles. There's like it's just like a cosmic force of creation, kind of like Lovecraft's work. I always, for some reason, compare it
mhm.
to him, but it's very similar to that, and it doesn't ask for worship or anything like that.
Right,
So it kind of really doesn't. That's not the really definition of a religion. So
right.
it would be more spirituality, and it does rely more on the laws of physics, if
Hmm.
anything, more than religion. And yeah,
Especially if you bring like alchemy into it, then that's 100% physics.
that's
Ab-
pretty much what
ab-
it is too. Alchemy. I
yeah,
was going to say that. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And you're right. It doesn't bring in any kind of religion. It's more of a mutual respect, so that there can be kind of like a cohabitate, like they can cohabitate, so that things can live together in this kind of copacetic, harmonious kind of a way. And that's kind of really where that balance kind of leads, because the balance kind of continues all the way up. The duality that we see really brings balance. And when you get to the top level, it's really based on your values and respect. So, like, respect for, one has a religion, respect for, the earth, respect for everything, respect for the laws of humanity. And I think a lot of that kind of really reaches out to that being one of the frameworks or the corners of, like, this puzzle.
Hmm. I could definitely see that.
So almost every disaster starts with one seemingly insignificant decision. How true do you think this is in real life? Because this happens all over the book. And actually, this is the demon job, basically. Make you
Right.
do that little crack, that little small decision that starts the whole tumble.
I mean, I know I was just talking about respect, but when you talk about like a selfishness, not like a follow through, not a consideration when you're making decisions, when you make them on impulse, when you're more basing them off of irrationality and your own benefits, and not kind of considering the quote unquote the greater good, and not realizing that you are a part of that greater good, thinking that you kind of on your own and you can do whatever you want. I think that also kind of plays into exactly what you just asked. And again, it kind of, again, a corner work of the puzzle.
Jax, what do you think about? Think this is true in real life? The small, insignificant decisions can cause that tumble.
Yeah, definitely. Like I could add a couple of things to that, like not many because that was well said. But yeah, like it definitely one major decision can throw anything off for anyone.
Right.
And that's just facts. And I think it could be statistically proven, and the statistics probably be above half, above 50% is what I would like to see.
I
But
agree with
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I mean, that's the only thing that I can say. She said it pretty much. I couldn't say it any better than how she said it. Besides adding that,
Right. Rain, what you think, bud?
Sorry. So for me, everything's like like everybody's been saying. small acts dictate. It's never one big thing where you could say, "Oh, that was the spark, that was the turning point." It's all the little decisions that add up to it. It's about the feeders, taking on that jealousy. It's the demons giving those temptations, chipping away. They're playing that long game of not trying to just do one big thing. It's that slow turn. It's that kind of almost weakening, air quotes, the for me the word, you know,
Hmm.
where you're you're putting people in that despair feeling, that point of, oh, I don't have any other choice, so I have to do, you know, I have to kill this guy. I have to, you know, that's where it's never. I don't think a lot of these things are based off of one big thing. It's all based off of small choices that everybody's making.
Yeah, like the accumulation of them all as it starts to compile. There's a
Yes.
certain quota. When it meets that quota, like, oh shit, hits the fan.
Yeah. That's you
Agreed.
nailed the words better than I did.
But it's
Exactly.
also like the pressure and the whole point that one thing can pivot everything
Sí, claro.
and the pressure of it.
Yes. And
But
it
it's
almost
It's
also
like a it's like a drug dealer back in the days in the '90s. But
That's
pop
a
people through
good
those secret
compare.
indictments, little by little. Every little bag you sold, they was writing that shit down. So
mm,
they had enough that ain't nothing you gonna say that was gonna get you off that off that case. Nah, brother. We've been watching you for 6 months. You done sold 4,000 baggies. You done made this much money. We know, nah, it's a wrap at that
damn.
point.
And had a million heart attacks and scares in between.
You
but
feel
the
me?
one
It's a wrap.
but I'll turn around and say this though. It just also takes one person to stand up and say, you know, give the person that hug, give that, be there and say, we're we're in this together. We're gonna be there. And that's why I think the Knights also kind of, even if there's not an army, air quotes army of them, it's one of those. It just takes that one person to give you hope.
Right.
You know.
And that's
So
why it's only one night going out, and at this point we see only him interacting with Ness because she and him together are what can actually change and make that pivot like you were just mentioning.
hmm
So there, this is basically like the beginning stages of the end, so to speak, as far as the novel goes. So the town that this is all taking place in, where the word showed the nightmare, where the word sent John Ross, where the demon is, whether the void is sending them or just his sick, for the rave, want to be a daddy, whatever. It's Hopewell. That's the name of the town. So do you think that shit is ironic, or is it supposed to be symbolic to us as the reader?
I think it's meant to, when you first open the book and realize the name of the town, I think you don't know which one it is. And I think by the end of this book, you realize that if you break down the word from a compound word, it is, I would flip it to say it is a well of hope because that's where they're left at the end. Even though they have their failures, they also have a win by the end, quote unquote, of this story. So I think it's looked at as a well of hope.
I
That's
like
what you
that.
think, brother.
Sorry about that.
No,
Oh,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
no. What'd you say?
No, I liked how you said that it's the well of hope. I was saying, also, I was saying, sorry, I meant to hit the mute button and I hit the back button. So,
Oh, no worries. Yep, I thought it was a really clever choice of words. It's funny, I live near Hopewell Junction in New York, and I lived there for a little while. So when I read the name of the town, I thought it was really, for me, I thought it was ironic. I was like, ha! I was like, that's great. I was like, because you don't know how it could work out for you. So I really definitely related it to the book. And like, obviously, by the end of the book, I was like, it's a well of hope. And that's
It's good.
moving from
It's
Hopewell, which
better
is
than
our house.
it's better than trying to hope well, right?
Yeah,
I'd rather it be
right.
in a well of hope.
I'd rather be a well of hope than to hope well, but I feel like that was that's kind of like John Ross's. he needs to hope well, right? For all the nightmares that he has. But for Nest, it becomes a well of hope.
Yeah, but the see, I can't expand too much on what she says because there's nothing really to expand on. It's literally what it means.
Right.
But what I'll touch on pretty much is that it's like a well that can be poisoned, and when the hope runs dry, the void wins.
Claro. I 100%
Something like
agree.
that.
I 100% agree.
like that. You
And
think
and I,
Nest is the hope well, is the well of hope, Nest or so?
say that again.
The town is. The town
Yeah,
is
but do you think
and then
Nest
the void or whoever is the poison. Everything that happens on that negative side
Yes.
is the poison.
Yes, I agree.
Well, in my opinion,
Yeah, no, I think the demon is sowing his chaotic seeds in order to poison their hope, absolutely. And he actually wins with certain people when we see all the deaths that have been going on recently in the town.
yeah,
so to break it back on the insignificant decisions. So basically good people can still make terrible choices. And the book gave us a few characters, and as we read through the series, there's gonna be a lot more. So as far as you read, who do you think make the most understandable bad decision?
Understandable bad decision. I gotta think about that for a second. Damn, understandable bad decision.
that's a good question, man.
Yeah.
Really,
Hmm.
Wow.
I don't know if
Personally, for me,
yeah,
the
go
only
ahead.
yeah,
well,
go for it.
the only one that I would think made that type of would be Grant, because the dumbness she was doing was out of
Mm.
love, trying to protect Ness, even though she should have sat down and kept it funky from the beginning. But clearly, we never see that happen, and then the books, shows, whatever the case might be, we don't see that happen. But she would be the only one I gave that. Anyone else that did some dumb shit, they did that shit on their own, full fledged. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm glad you said that because I agree with you now because I was like, oh my God, between the boys with Nest and then the guys from the Stillmill, I'm like, definitely neither of those guys, like none of those characters at all. But now that you say Grand, I would definitely back you up on that 100%. I didn't even think about her. I'm thinking like all the minor characters that we saw between the Stillmill and the like I guess you say the older boys that were like around Nest.
You could even say Ness's mom's,
Yeah, her too.
because she made that decision to jump off that motherfucking cliff to
Right.
stop him from getting those powers. I'm telling you, I really feel like I wish they gave us a spin-off or a prequel to give more about that. But I really feel like he had her in the position that it was almost wrapped up.
I agree. I 100% agree.
And that's why he figured, all right, this bitch killed herself. This last one, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna be in a position to let her do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hem that up real quick.
right. I think it learned with each with those two generations, so that way it would make sure it was successful with Nest.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And saying that, I mean, not that I'm trying to spoil it, but saying that and tying it to her whole identity and lineage and making her have to choose and kind of tying her her newfound magic to him, I thought that was a really probably one of the most sinister and easy and obviously a long game, but probably the easiest way in his mind to convince her to go with him. And it
Okay.
didn't work. Needless to say, it did not work. But I thought that that was really clever, and I really liked how Terry Brooks built to that. The whole, really reveal that the demon was like, her father and the lineage and the tying and the choice and the way the magic was, and I just really thought that that was brilliantly done.
Definitely. You know what I actually enjoyed? I enjoyed that he allowed us to look through Ness's eyes as she
Yes,
was piecing that shit together. Because in all actuality, she figured that shit out.
a hundred
John Ross
percent.
might have confirmed it, but she
Right,
put it together. You know what I'm saying? The
a
way her
hundred
grams
percent.
acted, the
Which
fact
was
that her mom, like, she put all that shit together.
Which was very 90s, right? Like when people were trying to figure out like who their father, like all that stuff. It, again, very reminiscent of of the times, like all the he's your father, like Maury Povich, like the Maury Povich show, and all those other kind of shows that we saw. Very reminiscent of those times. So I loved that like she was able to piece together, and we saw that, and the way it was revealed. Like I said, I don't know about you, but I'm sure you guys all figured it out before we even got to it, because of the way it was done. And like I said, I thought it was brilliant. And I just really loved the way by the end of the book it became part of her identity and her decision. And that was the dilemma, which we saw coming. But I loved that that's where it was based on, because that, again, became back to that free will.
That's a fact.
Well,
That's a
then
fact.
wouldn't you kind of go for Nest because she essentially kind of gave up her child, like air quotes, her childhood to try to, you know, be the guardian, so to speak, right?
But you know what? I think we came to the conclusion, brother, that that should always happen.
Hmm.
Because think of mythologies and Greek mythology that Hercules, all these people did their shit when they was young. I ain't never
Right.
heard a 50-year-old doing, you know what I'm saying, going out there and starting World War III and take shit over. It's always these young cats coming up and doing it. Why? I don't know, but it's always the young cats.
That the saying, young and dumb.
Yep.
It's
For me,
probably
it was
why. The
Bennett.
older person gonna be like, "You want me to do what? Ah, there's no way. You bugging out, homie. A demon? Nah, we not doing that." Kid be like, "Yes, but you didn't even let me finish talking." Yes, you know what I'm saying? Yes. All right, let me ask you this. Let's start with Jen.
Hmm.
John Ross again walks into your jump off where you work at the school. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "Yeah, excuse me, I know you're doing the class, but I got to talk to you." And he
Okay.
basically claims that he has visions of the apocalypse, and you're important in some way, whatever he says. Would you believe them? Ignore them? Call the cops? Follow them? What would you do?
Another good question.
All right. So, in the context of it being the real world, I probably would ignore them and go back into my classroom and wonder how the hell they got into the building with all the new security because of school shootings and all that. That's realistic. I'd be like, who are you? I wouldn't necessarily like, call the cops, but I would go in and close my door because I know it's locked. And I'd be like, let me call and find out what the fuck is going on. Um,
Yeah, you still.
yeah, definitely. I'd be like, what the fuck? I would not call the
And
police
then
right
they
away.
be like, "What are you talking about? Nobody passed by us."
If they
Talk
said
about
that to me and I went back to like the security guard, like the head of the security, and they played back the footage and it looked like I was talking to no one in the hallway kind of a thing. And the next time I saw that person, I'd be like, you need to prove to me that you're not a demon. And I will do what you say. Like, let's go because this is an adventure. 'Cause if I had all those facts, because I think I like a lot of that stuff, so I think it would be really cool to kind of be a part of that. But I would need some proof in order to continue on.
and you understand why he goes for kids, why they usually go for kids.
Yeah, because my daughter would go in a heartbeat with asking, no questions.
Not even one question. Yes.
Not even one question. Not even one.
All of us. Jackson, what about you? What would be your reaction to that, brother? You at work? I'm not too sure what you do for work besides being buff. But you at work and you
Mhm.
doing your thing, and the dude walk in, talk to you for a second,
Okay.
had visions of the future. It was about to end, apocalypse, fire, brimstone, demons. If you can help me do what I got to do to stop it. When?
I'm in 110% in. I don't have to think twice.
And you feel like you would
Even
believe
they
that person and not think you're being tricked.
It's not even going to matter. Like we're going by. You're talking about oh boy, right? The prophet dude.
John, yeah, John Ross, the Night of the
Yeah,
Word.
hell yeah, I'm gonna listen to him, man. I'm not gonna question him.
But this is like real life 2026. He just walks into your job tomorrow, like in the
Hmm.
middle of your job, and just like, hey, yo, and just a guy that's talking to you random and tells you all this stuff. You're going to believe him? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
I would believe him, and then I would tell him, all right. How was the situation? I don't remember the exact situation you would say because you explained like a school thing at first, like people
Well,
off like
'cause I'm a teacher, so I'm like, if
right.
the situation was if he walked into my school, I was like, well, first I wouldn't call the police because I'd be like, all right, maybe there's something to this, but I really don't know. Let me
Hmm.
just make sure you're not here trying to like kill everybody. So I go through the
Right.
protocols first, like like find out who it was, and if they're like, oh yeah, no one came through here, there's no one you're talking to. Like if it was
Hmm.
simply like no one knows who the fuck, like they didn't see anybody, then I'd be like, all right, then I would completely be on board. I would probably want just a little proof that I'm not working for a demon, but I
Right.
would probably be on board. But right off the bat, for like, I guess because I'm in a school and I'm in New York, so with
Hmm.
school shootings, no one can just walk into the school. So that would be, I'd be, that would be my first priority are my students and why the hell are you in this building? Like, how'd you get here? Now, if he was waiting outside by my car and showed me proof that he wasn't a demon, that'd be a different story because I'd probably be like, okay, let's go save the world.
All right, so
What would you do?
I'm gonna use her as an example for her occupation. So what I would do is I would say, come with me, step outside to my office. We'll go to the office, and I'm gonna tell them, hey, guess what? I'm in 100%. Now this is what you got to do. I got to get out of here in a way that nobody else can understand. These children can't get hurt, and once we get to a place far away from here, you can explain everything that we need to do. You got it? And if he says yeah, I'm in. That's
Wepa.
it,
I
just
like
like
that.
that.
Wepa. I like how you rethought my whole situation, and now see, thank you, because I'm not the smartest person in the world. I totally back that up now that I've rethought that what you said. That is
No,
perfect.
don't say that. But yeah, yeah, that's something that you can just do in general. Make sure everybody's safe. Better go away from everybody wherever they take you, and let's get down to business. Tell me what I got to do, what I need to know, and let's get on with it.
Yeah, my
And I
inner
want the
childhood.
staff.
Yeah, my inner childhood would not be able to say no. Like I grew up watching, like never, same I'm sure as you guys, like all these fantastical movies and stuff, and you always wanted to be a part of that. Like I wanted to be in the Never-Ending Story. I wanted to be in a million different of these movies. So of course, Indiana Jones, all of that. So of course, I'd be like, let's go. I want an adventure.
Yep, that's
Hey,
right.
Rain, what you think, brother?
I feel kind of bad because real life, this guy came up to me, man. I think I'd be yesing him to death, thinking this motherfucker's crazy. I got to get away from him. I'm the child in me.
That's
I
funny.
agree every word you guys are saying. I just, I, I've had some crazy people talk to me, not saying anything like this, and I'm just sitting there. Yep, yep, yep. I'm just trying to get the. What do I have to do to get away? you know. I mean, because realistically, if
I
somebody
think
came up to me saying, you know, we need you to protect, now I'll say this: I got my kids, so that's where, if anything, first I might get a little crazy. You're gonna say my kids are gonna get hurt. Now that there's Papa Bear coming out. That being said, you're saying you got to protect them doing this or whatever. Mm, you know,
I
my
feel
heart
you on
what?
that.
No, I hear you. I
I
100%
feel
hear
him
you.
100%. But we got to remember, this guy, no matter what we do, no matter how big of a Papa Bear we are, that boy is gonna fuck us up if we try anything. So
Um,
remember, you got to remember that.
I
Can't beat
will.
him, join him.
Exactly. And I
Yep.
think the biggest thing is that all of us believe in this idea of duality and balance. And if something was to become unbalanced, we'd be right there to help set it right, or at least try to, or make that attempt,
Yes.
because that is our overall arching belief, right? That there has
I
to
ain't
be
gonna
balance
hold you.
between these two sides. And I love
That
that
man
we
would
would
just have
like, we
that
would
man would
jump
just have
in.
to show me some kind of magic, and I'm down.
I love it. Just show me
And I'm
some
not even talking
magneto
about like I'm not talking about pull out a deck of cards, talk about choose a card. Nah, I want to see some real shit.
word.
If I see some real
It
shit,
is as
that'd be
real
dope.
as when you slap yourself in the fucking face real hard and think you that you did it.
And the reason I'm saying it like that is because I gotta agree with Jen. At this day and age, there's some cuckoo patchouli out there. So
Word.
show me magic. Show me something that I know you're not. Because I wouldn't go. I ain't gonna hold you. My reaction wouldn't go toward like it could be a demon. Because I guess I should think like that. But if the motherfucker did some real magical shit, I'll be with it. Not even knowing like demon and what you did yet. Let's
Right.
go. But yeah, but he would have to show me something. Just off his word, nah. And everybody make it sound like he got a presence and a fuck that presence and all that bullshit. I don't know you, homie. You could be proof for motherfucking true.
Mm.
So show me something. You can walk around the corner. You don't have to show me in front of everybody, And it better not be nothing I seen on motherfucking Magic Tricks and Comedy Central, no David Blaine shit. It has to be some real, you know what I'm saying? Some motherfucking Doctor Strange shit. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta
I
Right.
see
want
the
to see some real
But then
Kamehameha
magic
wave
I
again,
need
like Goku and shit. You
something. I want to see something though. Nah,
I need
man.
real
If,
proof.
if you levitate, nah, that ain't gonna hold me. I see you through this.
fly. He's got to
You know
fly
what I'm
and everything.
saying?
Y todo, everything.
well, but
Listen,
here's the thing: you still wouldn't know if you're siding with the side of good or the side of bad.
I ain't even gonna hold you. I probably
But
that
we
would have
know
been
as the writer, so it's like you didn't really put the question out there 100% that these guys are trying to do good. But if you go in there not knowing, then it would have been a harder question to answer, I think.
Well, I
But
thought. Go ahead.
knowing what we know about who he is, reading the book, and we already know that he's for the good. So it's like I'm in. I'm gonna do it. Whatever way we gotta handle things here because I want to save the world. Now, if we didn't know that, then that will make things a little more interesting about the scenario.
Where exactly, like if it was a random guy, because then we wouldn't know if he's a demon or not. I know I said like I
Exactly.
wouldn't know who the fuck John Ross is, so I'd be like, you need to prove you're not a demon. Like after you tell me your story, I'm like, okay, prove well that you're not a demon. But when I think about it, how the fuck would I know what that proof really looks like? I'm just saying.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say when you
That
mentioned that earlier. How could you prove that?
Yeah,
Because clearly this isn't a religious thing. You can't
right,
take a cup of holy water, throw it at him, and he ain't gonna burn.
right.
This
So I
man
wouldn't
walked into
even
the
know.
church. You know what I'm saying? This man
Right,
walked into the church.
exactly.
The
Right.
best way would what I would say that I would have to talk to him. Look, like everything, like I said, beginning with the teachership, but when we go to the seminaries, we will have to have a conversation, and he's going to have to take me to that place, right? When I say take me out of here, somewhere away from this world, and he takes me, that should be an answer right there, kind of, because you're
True.
not going to, the regular person is not going to take you to a whole other dimension or something like that, and then you can have the conversation and have more things to him to examples of for him to do, like, so what powers do you have? Explain it to me and show me like, what? Give me something that you can do, and prove to me that I can do it too. And
You know,
in that scenario,
Exactly. Now
it
we
might not
talking.
even yeah, it might not even be so much like show me your powers. It might be like why do your powers exist and what are they being used for? Like I need to know your plan of operation before I can get down and sign up with you.
I
Because
have
if
to understand the powers first and get them before I know what they're used for, so I can make my decision. Just because I gotta fight this mother.
yes, that too, CC.
See that? All right.
But then get all the
So that,
information if everything's copacetic and then handle it from there. But he's gonna go through multiple tests too, because I'm gonna when we're in this void, I'm gonna use once he gives me a power to test it, I'm gonna shoot it right at his ass to see if he can take it, and then I'm gonna ask more questions.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
and then and then when we get all our shit together and I'm 100% in, then I'll be like, all right, train me.
not for nothing. I think the point is though, if they asked any one of us, if John Royce appeared to any one of us, there'd be a process for the most of us, right? There'd be steps. If it was a kid, like
Right.
a nest, there wouldn't be no process or
No
maybe
thought.
one question, if that.
Hmm.
Where like,
That's
so that's another
we're
reason
more of a
why
step.
children. I think that's what Miguel was saying earlier. I think that's another reason why children are used so much more. Like whatever they hear, they make a decision and believe in it wholeheartedly. Adults are way more skeptical because we've seen some bullshit backfire, get twisted, be lied upon, betrayed. We have all these more emotions where even if kids have seen it, it might not have really happened to them, so they might be more hopeful or more inclined in a certain way, where adults are just more guarded.
Okay, you're a teacher. I do stuff with children, like developing a lot of different things when it comes to like nonprofit stuff and shit like that. But you're more of a teacher, so you go through that even more. But the younger kids, when you're dealing with children from first grade, I want to say maybe seventh, eighth freshman year of high school, they have no remorse in the beginning.
Nope.
They do not know how to close their mouth. They don't know how to feel bad, no empathy, no nothing. And that's what makes them think, yes, I'll do it.
Yep, they don't give a fuck. I 100% agree. Kids do not give a shit. They are very selfish. Even if you go back to like Freud and some of the other like the way their developmental part is at that point and they're trying to figure things out, they are
Right.
very much into themselves and not thinking about their environment and the world around them.
And what's
Even
funny
when
to them,
their environment affects them, right, negatively or positively because of like their whole nature, they still look to themselves.
yeah, I agree. And the younger they are, the more less remorse that they have. Because
100%.
when you can fall and bust your shit, and then your 5 year old or 6 year old will laugh at you, but you really need stitches and you're bleeding to death because they don't know. But then they, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
But
And
but that was yeah.
even in the book, don't we see a small child that like kind of we make the assumption gives into the demon? Isn't the child like 6 years old, 7 years old? So clearly they can make decisions, but they might not know enough. But at that point, they're just able to completely like, you know, not really think about their environment and kind of think and kind of get in their head. And obviously, this demon's able to take a child out. Am I wrong, Miguel? I'm pretty sure it's earlier on in the book.
100%.
No, and
100%.
that's a representation of
That's
just real
easy
life
praying
shit on
though.
how kids can get kidnapped and lured through candy and ice cream and can you want to see my puppy and all that other bullshit. It's a form of manipulation and how gullible kids can be because they have no remorse and they can't think for themselves at a certain
Exactly.
age.
Because they have no remorse and they can't think for themselves like that. And if they
Yeah.
do think that they're thinking for themselves, it's in a selfish way where they still have no remorse.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about it like this: as the demons start to progress in their job or their, chess game that they're playing, and the world starts to deteriorate,
Mm-hmm.
they're still children. And these
Yes.
children we're going to come to see become very important in the whole story. So it
Yeah.
falls back to this man loved using children. But again, it's because of the reason that, yes, no problem. What? Yes. But I also believe that's why stuff like magic and all that stuff is real, 100%, because there's too
100.
many stories in too many different countries and too many different areas that's too similar. When you get that type of stuff, that's accurate shit. The
Right.
reason we don't have access to that now is the fact that we don't believe the way that people used to believe back in the day. Science and all that shit curved that thought out of our mind. Now we have
No, we were
questions.
groomed for that.
Now, yeah, now we have questions. Now we want to ask. We don't just believe and it happens type of shit. Like
So
belief is a strong thing, and
I have a
because of that,
question. Oh,
shoot.
okay. I have a
No, I was
question.
gonna say, yeah, go.
Before you continue on with your thought, so my question is, and not to really spoil it because I haven't read it, knowing that this world's going to come to an end, is that knowledge then from this world, from this series, then lost in the next?
The crate. Okay, do you want to know?
I just want to know that yes or no. Is that knowledge lost? Because then that would prove what you're saying now applicable to our world today.
Okay, so let me ask you this: when you say that knowledge is lost, which knowledge are you talking about?
Magic.
Well, see,
I'm
now
keeping it
it's
very,
almost
very
the
simple.
reverse. It's almost the reverse, to be honest with you.
Explain.
Because the way we are now, which is the book where we're at now, it's easier for that magic. That magic is corrupted already. It's happened.
Okay.
What's coming, and back to what I said, the way the deterioration of the world happens, and we see it happen. When that comes, it almost, I guess, reboots humanity.
Okay.
And that reboot, now, mind you, it takes a while. You know what I'm saying? It ain't
Right,
gonna
right.
be like
This is not an
5 days
overnight
or whatever.
thing. Right.
Nah, but that reboot allows the use of magic. And not just that reboot. Something happens, something occurs, which we'll see not in these three books, but in the first book of the next three, which again, these are all connected. We'll see something happen that assists almost with that reboot.
It
Okay.
was like
And
a representation of everything restarting from the very beginning when like technology was fucking dope and then you use everything, but then it loses its meaning as time compresses and goes, and then bang, it resets and you just rinse and repeat. Kind of like cycles that
exactly,
Right.
the cycles of
exactly,
basically mankind allegedly.
Right. That's
That's
exactly what I
exactly,
was thinking.
that's what
exactly.
they're okay.
So the Merlin and all that was the cycle for this, our, lifeline, our term timeline or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But when our shit comes to an end, that reboot allows for the use of magic. It brings that back. But like Jackson was saying, there's also because we were here, there comes points that like, oh shit, I just was digging for a well or some bullshit and I found a gun. Now the person who found it is confused as fuck. What the fuck is this shit? Look at this shit. This is crazy.
Right.
But us as the reader is like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? This is
Right.
so
Nice.
far in our future. They still finding old shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh fuck.
I love that. It shows how everything's so circular, and those little actions like you were asking before do matter. We might get to the same outcome, but how we get there is definitely can be changed.
Yeah,
Fact.
it's a loop. It's a loop. It's an endless loop that in a cycle. That's basically what it is. It's going to keep on going and going and going, and it's probably unbreakable. And
I
you're going
agree.
to continue to try to break it over and over until you think you can do it with just one major move to pivot the entire thing. And that's what basically this whole story is about.
And that's why that lady Akasha keeps, I think that's how you say her, but that's why the lady keeps coming back and trying to find knights to make those changes so that way what comes next can be finally different and more sustainable.
It
Right.
could be what she remembers. Because if she's long living, she remembers Merlin and magic of that time. For
Exactly.
all
She
we
knows
know,
all the
yeah,
cycles.
yeah, 100%. For all we know, she could come from a race of people or whatever the case. Like, for example, like the Fae.
Right.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the case might be, but the fact is she could be all that's left.
Right.
And
Like a sole
in hope,
survivor of a covenant or something.
exactly. So in hopes of saving or changing the outcome or bringing it back to what it was, she's showing the knights where it's going.
Right.
With your help, this doesn't have to go there. She never shows them where it could go. They all have their own assumptions as we start to meet other knights. They'll all explain what they feel goes on.
Right.
Yet, every single one of the motherfuckers follow them shits wholeheartedly. If they go to sleep on a Monday and have a vision about Jersey and they in LA, some point during that week, they showing up in Jersey because it wouldn't let them. It won't let them. And the reason it won't let them because if it happened Monday and they not in Jersey and they still wherever they at Tuesday, they having that same nightmare. They Wednesday they
The
going to
nightmares
sleep
force
and
them
they
to
still
make moves.
exactly. They going to sleep Wednesday and they still ain't do nothing. They gonna have that same nightmare and it gets worse. It gets it more in depth. It gives them more information, so to speak. But the outcome is always the same. They get up and go to where that was.
Right.
And sometimes they don't even really know where. They just kind of be like, all right, based on the where, based on the the street names and the out. I looked in the computer. I think that's Kentucky. All right, I guess I'm going to Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like whatever. It's almost like they was just they're broken. Like Jackson said, because they were broken, they're hoping for more. Hence Hopewell. They're hoping well, like, you know what, this gotta be better. And that's
Yeah.
Right.
why I said if the person came and was able to actually show me magic, I'd be with it. And yeah, I should think, is it a demon? But that wouldn't be my thought. If somebody coming saying that they want to save the world, they have visions of the apocalypse of it. And there's ways that I wouldn't think like my mental block wouldn't lock on me that this is a demon. Why would a demon want to do that?
Mine either. Because anything could be sent as a messenger to get you. from a higher power, and it could be an alien, it could be a demon, it could be an angel, or whatever you want to call it. You're not gonna know.
which is
Right.
true.
So, so I agree.
But the fact that he showed me magic
Mhm.
makes me believe. It resets my belief. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't asking too many more questions. Oh shit. So you saying I can do that? Oh, with training, with teaching. Oh yeah. Okay, so when do we start? You know what I'm saying? Like when do we start? No, no, no. I'm with you right now. We start. All right. So how we do that? You know what I'm saying? How we do what you just showed me. Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? Let's start there. And
Right.
once I can do that, you got me locked in. I don't give a fuck what we doing no more.
Yeah.
I just want to learn the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I would definitely need to make sure. I mean, I wouldn't want to lose my chance out on learning it, but at the same time, I would want to make sure that I'm not being manipulated into doing the wrong thing, right? We keep
Yes,
talking
sir.
about Ross
Nah,
being sent
facts.
for a night, but if there's a duality of it, you would think that you could also be sent out as a demon, and I wouldn't want to be manipulated into, turning into something that I never really knew I was signing up for.
No, that's a fact. And I will
I
be
would take
on
that
that
chance.
every step of the way. The more shit I learn, man, he teaching me. But he ain't gonna see when I walk off and I practice that shit a billion times. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna see that part. He
No,
just
and then
gonna
when
know
you
that I
decide
know
if
it.
you want to go against them, that's it. You're strong enough and you have the ability. If not, if you don't learn the ability and say no, you can never choose. And if you do choose,
That's
you're
a
going to be
fact.
weak. So you
That's a
got to
fact.
use whatever you can get. Learn first. Be on his side. Make them think it. And then if you got to choose, when they least suspect.
Right.
Exactly. Come with
Right.
the knowledge. I mean, I want that staff too. I don't know if that's the source of your power, Bucko, but I want a staff too.
Oh,
You ain't gonna
speaking
give
of
me
this,
yours. We gonna go speak to that
Show
lady
me
over
if you can make a hyperbolic time chamber that we can go in for a day and stay there for a year and teach me everything.
there.
word.
You
Listen,
should,
facts.
you should be able to do that. So do it right now. Show me. And that's what I'll
Oh
tell
yeah,
the
open
people.
up that portal. We gonna walk through. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We gonna walk
Yeah.
through. Go cool. Let's go. We gonna go cool. Let's go, motherfucker. Start teaching, buddy. Start teaching.
That's what I'll do too. I'll say, hey, make Goku and bring him with us. He could teach me his stuff.
Listen,
No, shit.
that's a
I'll think
fact.
of some
Start
shit, man.
teaching. I'll be with it. That ass. All right, so even okay, so let's say the void offers you his greatest desire, your greatest desire. Would that tempt
Mhm.
you enough to say yes? And now when I
Yes.
say the void, I'm talking about the damn. He didn't even let me finish.
You know,
I'm
I don't
talking
have
about
to think about it. Go ahead.
this is the entity I'm assuming of nothingness, the
Right.
Even
entity
better.
of darkness, the entity of possible evil,
Yeah,
Hmm.
hell no. The answer is
the
no.
greatest
I'm
desire,
gonna do the
whatever you
same
I
thing
got.
don't give a fuck.
your boy
You're
is that
nothingness. Why would I think that you'd
learn
be
the
able
dark
to
side.
fulfill? That's like a man coming to me with a negative fucking bank account, talking to me, I'll buy you whatever fucking car you want. Nigga, you got a negative bank account. You in the void. Like you ain't nothing. How you gonna give me something when you ain't shit? No.
Listen, yes, and you got to think about it. It's nothingness, and that shit got together enough to give itself voice to say something. That's a lot.
Goku will
Nah,
make it mean something, so
nah.
I'm willing to learn the boy's dark side. Train me, I'll be your apprentice, and then I'll use that against his ass too.
God bless both of y'all. I'm out.
I
Yeah,
ain't gonna be
this
afraid to that shit. If I'm gonna
this
save the
warlord.
world, then I'm gonna fucking learn both sides. Hey, Anakin Skywalker, man, call me whatever you want. I'm learning both sides.
You know what it
Darth
is?
Raven.
You guys are making a big assumption that you'd still have that free will and be able to make that discernment
Mhm.
at that point, and I don't
Bit,
think once you say yes, that you would still have control of that. I think that would be like signing your soul over, and as much as you're like,
but
"One day I would
by the
like to
sense,
break
but by the
free and I
sense of
would get
the
away,"
sequence
I
of
don't
our
think
questions, you know what I mean? The sequence of our questions. I should already have the powers that I wanted to learn from old boy. So if I got those powers and I'm gonna work for him learning his powers, I'm already gonna be able to defend myself in a sense if necessary. He's not gonna be able to know that because I'm gonna make sure of that learning through old boy. And then if
I
I have to kill him, I'll kill him after I learn his stuff.
I think that's what every demon thinks, and that's why they become a demon. You're better off hoping that you become a nest, hoping that your mom and your
There's a
dad are
reason
from each
why
side.
demons are dead, Jen, and they're not in the physical world.
Good point. Touche.
All right, so who do you think, as of right now, the actual most dangerous character in that whole book? Right?
Ooh.
Oh man, that's another good question. I'm gonna have to ponder on that for a second. Anyone want to go first?
I'm thinking.
I gotta be thinking.
Hey,
Hmm. I
well, I'll tell you. Yeah, I was
so
say I'll tell you
I
my
would
thing.
I'm
say,
gonna go
all right,
with Big John, but you guys can go first with your explanation.
Big John.
All right, so
Big
I'll tell you
John.
my thinking. I
I think
actually also was going to say John Ross, and the
Ah,
reason
bueno.
I'm going with
Lo que
John
te
Ross
primero.
is a fact. But the reason I'm going with John Ross is because think about it. Clearly, the only other person that we've seen with power besides Ness is the demon. And
right.
while that power seems to be some, some icky wicky shit, John Ross broke it down from the very first time we seen it. The demon is scared of him. I almost killed his ass a couple times. I'm about to body his ass. Like the demon is nothing as a on a straight up one on one. So in other words, if John Ross hem his ass up, it's a wrap. And as we start reading more into it, this dude is nasty with his magic. Yo, dude is nasty with his shit. I don't know if I want that smoke. I'd rather, because the demon, I feel like, nah, nigga, you ain't gonna talk me to nothing. You ain't gonna make me feel like it's my idea. Nah, I'm not with it. I'm good. First off, who the fuck are you? I don't even know you. Why you playing me close? You know what I'm saying? Why you playing me close? Fuck is that? So the demon ain't doing it. And then the only other person with power is Ness.
Right. Who I think
And
well,
would be
the
the most
worst thing,
dangerous.
as of right now, the worst thing I've seen Ness power do is make people dizzy.
so why wouldn't you say the what is it there you go.
Manitowoc,
The Watagawaga or whatever the hell.
and
Yeah.
Manitowoc.
Because that shit is locked in the damn tree. That ain't bothering me. And
But
if
Well,
Pick
see,
and them ain't mentioned it, guess what? I wouldn't have even known.
knowing what we know from the novella and this book, you could say that the park as an entity itself, because we mentioned that earlier, could be the most dangerous thing because it keeps drawing them back there. You could say that John Ross is the most dangerous thing because he knows what's going to happen and he's actually controlling things and
mm,
not sharing information. And it's specific, especially in this book. I haven't read the others. You could say that Nest is the most dangerous character because she now knows that she has powers and she's gonna wholeheartedly put all of her like eggs in one basket and completely trust John Ross rather than having discernment on when and where she should trust him, knowing he's hiding information from her.
ooh.
So I can
Okay.
look at it from all three of those aspects. I just don't know which one would be the most logical because I haven't even looked at what book two is because I've been wanting to make sure like I have a completely fresh and pure like view for this live stream, but I'm not really sure which way it can go looking at all three of those things that I just presented. So I see all of those as very logical stepping points, but please tear them apart, build them up, build upon them, help me
So
theory craft.
part of me says I feel like it's the I'm gonna just say it's the forest just because that would be easier to say. Because even though yes, it's trapped,
Right?
it's still drawing the feeders. It's still drawing that like war zone area. It's
Exactly.
it's drawing everything there while it's sealed. And yes, the seal is breaking. Like that's why. So and that magic has probably been lost to keep it sealed in order to even try to reseal it. You know.
I agree with you because John Ross was summoned there. Ness is there. That park has done something before. We've seen it in another novella. It's going to absolutely have some more things to do with things that are happening. And I know that, Miguel, you asked me if I thought that, we had talked in the live stream earlier in episode one that we thought it was more of a personal thing. But now, after reading this book, it's definitely something that builds off of the people that are around it. So I completely agree with you, Rain, that it completely could be the forest because it's gonna always draw things there.
Jackson? Anything after that?
No, no. I mean, you said it very well. I
Fair
I
enough.
can
Now,
agree.
you know what's funny? Nobody said ordinary people. That's
What do you mean,
probably the
ordinary
most
people?
dangerous character in the book if you think about it.
Mm, You
Mm,
think? You think because they're unpredictable?
Well, think about it.
we're
Let's say an army general and the demon's able to corrupt it. Let's say the president
Right.
and the demon's able to corrupt it.
Then yes, because they might hold more power and be able to do things on a higher scale quicker because they have greater authorization and authority in a higher in that in those higher
Think
before. So
about it. If you're
absolutely,
if you're the demon and your ultimate goal is nothingness, you
you'd
think he's
want the
gonna stay
highest
in
level.
Hopewell?
No,
Exactly.
you'd
He's
want the
not
highest
gonna stay in
level that can
Hopewell. He's
actually
going to
do
the
that
top.
the most effectively and quick. Yep, absolutely. You go to whoever has the nuclear
whoa.
codes. Whoever holds the nuclear codes is who
Exactly.
to fucking go to. Because if you wanted destruction and to annihilate everything in order to win, so that you can encompass and swallow everything into your void, then you would want whoever holds all the nuclear codes. That's where you would send your demons to.
But they don't.
Exactly.
No, they
That's
don't.
that's why for me right now, that's why I go to the forest because he like we said earlier, they're not going to the cities. They're not going to the politicians. They're going to this no name, you know, I'm saying no name, but you know what I mean? This small town. I don't think the battle's not going to be won that way. Whatever they're trying, it's my opinion right now. It feels like it's the battle's going to be won or lost with this forest.
And even if it's not just the forest, it would definitely encompass the creatures of the forest.
Correct.
If they're
Something
able
along.
if
I
they're
don't.
able to go ahead.
No, you.
If, like, the creatures of the forest are able to, like, contain and control that and figure out a way to defeat that, they'd be able to use that kind of a thought and, mind shift for a larger scale operation.
Agreed.
But yes, that's definitely who I would buy. If you really think about it, those are the probably the most dangerous people in the book is regular people. There's someone with position, someone with some nuclear code, someone, someone with access to alien technology, whatever the fuck to ultimate destruction. Because for whatever sick ass reason, that's what the demons want. They want destruction. They want this shit done all. And clearly, they must have won because we see the future. That's
Right,
all future. He has no doubt that it's real. You know what I'm saying? To the fact that sometimes he don't know what is the dream. If he's there and real life, like for Josie and stuff of that nature, is the dream, or is what he's living with Master that is the dream, or is the future the dream? And if the future's a dream, that shit is PTSD central.
I agree. It is.
I agree.
Yes. Agreed.
If this was adapted into an HBO series, which the Shannara was, it just was
Mhm.
kind of trash. But if this was brand new, HBO and HBO, fucking Amazon, these are all blown up favorite shows. Who would you have play Ness, John Ross, and the Demon?
Hmm.
Huh. Okay,
Go ahead. You
I
go
don't know
first.
the actor's name, but he was in Vampire Diaries and on Lost. His dark hair.
The one that plays
Shannon's
Damon.
brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
Shannon's brother from
Demon
Lost. Yeah.
yes.
Bellator.
I can see him as the demon.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, hold on. For John Ross,
So now the demon is young to you. So now
yes,
that dude ain't too old. Okay,
right.
fair enough.
And I think he'll, because remember, he got with Granny, then he got with Katrina, trying to, you know what I mean? I think he would have to, constantly change and always be somebody younger. But when with Nest, I think he would look like
Leave
that.
the border the same, but change. Excuse me.
Como what?
No, no, no. Go ahead. I
Okay.
apologize.
For John Ross, I could see, huh. Oh, I gotta come back to that. I can't think who I would make as a John Ross. And for the girl, damn, she has to be 14 here. That's kind of hard to think of who can play a 14-year-olds. I was thinking the
I go to the girl who played in Game of Thrones.
Aria.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Nah,
was
she's like 95 now. She don't look like. You
I
know,
was
if you, I
thinking
thought you was talking about the no, but she was 95 too. The chick in The Last of Us.
uh,
She was from Game of Thrones.
no, Bella Ramsey. No, the girl
Yes.
that she was in, what was it called? Prime, not the animated, but there was another show called like Primal, I thought, or something like that. And there was no words in the movie. And what the hell? Oh my God.
Game.
She's Latin American. Um, I'm trying to think what the hell else has she been in? Uh,
Um.
she can pass as I'm not bigger. She can pass as Mexican or Indian, as a Native American Indian. Let me see. I'm gonna type it in real quick.
Zendaya?
That's what I'm doing. Oh
No,
yeah.
not
You know what?
Zendaya.
I kind of agree. I forget whoever said Bella Ramsey. Yeah.
That's the chick, yeah, but I'm talking about a younger version of her though, because she looks like she's
Now, yeah.
95 now.
Well, everybody, they all aged.
I would have took a young Hermione from Harry Potter too. That would have worked too.
Ooh.
Not now though, because they're all like 95.
Wow.
And Hermione might have fit even better because she was slim build, and they when they described Ness, they clearly. And even when one of her friends had the big boobs, she kind of made the comment on it. So clearly she was flat chested. You know what I'm saying? She had that runner's body, so she was all slim and lanky.
I do like that.
Yeah, they could probably take that. That's a younger version. She first did Harry Potter, she might have been about 14. So I say that age of Harry Potter 1.
um.
Oh, here it is.
John Ross, what about a Carl Urban? He's a
Who?
fucking everything right now. Carl Urban.
Oh, no.
That's the guy who played Johnny Cage, right?
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
want
and
to
he
say
was
like Henry
remember?
he was
Cavill.
he was butchering the boys.
Oh, I could see Henry
Uh,
Cavill too.
Who?
Henry Cavill, Superman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, The Witcher,
Yeah,
the good
Yep.
Witcher.
to,
The original, yeah, they should never got rid of it.
to play John
Yeah,
Ross.
yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could definitely see Henry Cavill.
yeah.
Mm.
I hope they pick one of them motherfuckers because they all would actually fit perfectly.
Um. Who'd you
You could
want to
ask
play as the
Terry.
Gran?
Oh,
God.
Graham. Oh man, that's a good one. There's not too many old lady actors. I'm literally dying.
Wow.
I'm all right. So part of me
Oh,
would.
Kathy Bates. Yeah, there we go. How about
Kathy
that?
Bates would be
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Or
Kathy
the
Bates
woman
is
that was in
definitely good.
what was her name that she was in American Horror Story? Hold on, let me type in her name. I can see her more than anything. The one that was in American Horror Story.
That's
Um,
Kathy Bates was American
no,
Horror
no,
Story.
no, no, not her. Uh, I'll tell you right now. What is her name?
What, the
Uh,
black chick?
no.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
I
about to say,
could
don't
see
tell me
her.
you're gonna
Yes.
change the color.
Oh, what is this? Jessica Lange.
Oh yeah,
I can see Jessica Lange.
yeah, that can work
Chain
also.
smoking on them cigarettes and drinking.
With the glass up.
Yep, I can see it being Jessica Lange more than Kathy Bates. Both of them sure would be able to pull it off. Uh, but
I don't
yeah,
know the lady, but the lady who played the mom in American Horror Story Murder House, the one that kept smoking the squares, that's not the one you just said, right?
no, I think you're
Because they
talking
was
about
similar.
Not Sarah Paulson.
Sarah, I like Sarah Paulson too. She could probably play a good like she did in Nurse Ratched, but I was talking about the
I
mom
know.
character.
Hold on,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It is what is her name? Oh my goodness. Connie Britton. She was Vivian.
There you go.
Connie Britton. She was married to Dylan McDermott's character, right? She was
Uh,
like the mom.
no, was she? She was the grandmother then.
The
She was the
grandmother.
grandmother. The grandmother was the one that ended up taking the boy and raising him and became to the covenant.
Oh, that's Jessica Lange.
That's Jessica Lange. Okay, then yeah, her then.
See, that's why I said Jessica Lange. I thought you meant the mom, like her daughter or whatever, Connie Britton. But
Oh no,
yeah,
I
yeah,
meant
no, you're talking about
actually my
Jessica
mom.
Lange.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
think Jessica Lange would be perfect. I'm trying to think who would be a good like Nest like character now that I think of it. That's the hardest one to think of.
I guess you gotta be 14. You know who
Right.
else would have been a decent one? The chick that got shot in the head in Walking Dead. Look at the flowers.
Oh.
She was about 14, I think, when that happened.
Well, you know who's good that I like right now, and I'm just bringing it up because it's fresh in my mind and it's just fresh off the series. Julia Doyle. Like, she plays a 16-year-old. She could take it 2 years younger, make her look younger. I think she could play.
Barely passes for 16 with her creepy ass smile. Hell no. No
She's a
way.
good actress, though. That's the thing that the actors can do so many
She's
things, different things.
amazing. I will say that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like do I wa oh
Oh,
wait. Oh wait. Now that I'm thinking about it, like if I think about like The Descendants and like those type of movies that my daughter watches, there is a really good chick that would work perfectly. What the fuck is her name? Dove Cameron.
I am not familiar with her.
um,
Especially if Jessica Lange's gonna be the grandmother, Dove Cameron would be perfect. She plays Mal on the Descendants. It's a Disney movie. There's like four of those movies, three or four of them. But yeah, she's
Right.
like 22 or 23. She's like a Sophia Carpenter's age, like in her like young 20s. But I think she'd probably be able to play it off better than Sophia.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, they're both
All right.
22, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, there you go.
I just looked up like different people that like played grandmas, and all the ones that I'm like, oh, I could see that, I could see that. They're all dead.
Oh my
I'm
God.
trying, like, I'm trying to see which ones would actually be like a good current. Oh, it's hard.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
She
her
can't
name?
be too creepy. She has to be helpful.
What about
So, what
June
about
Squibb?
who?
I've seen her before. She's American actress, no, for. Can you give me some information? Just continue. If I can actually get what she's done. Because I've seen her picture, so the hell's her
What's
name?
what's her name again?
June Squibb. Squib. I've seen her face a bunch of times.
Isn't that the murder she? No.
She would be phenomenal. No, this one. I'm trying to see.
She's still alive.
Yeah, it looks like she just did something.
Eleanor the Great. And she did Thelma in 2024 too. She's
Yeah.
recent. 1929, 96 years old from Illinois.
Oh, so she already probably lived there as well.
That would be perfect.
Perfect.
But
Yeah.
she's got that look that I could. It'd make the most sense. Anyway, sorry.
So, yeah, what did you think about the end of the book? Is it a standalone, or did it clearly let you know there was more coming?
Oh, I don't know how to answer that. Hmm. Well, I thought it definitely, now that I think about it, it needed more. You knew it wasn't over.
Yeah.
You needed more. You knew it wasn't over for sure.
Actually, too. They
I,
just
I
want
don't
to
I
take
don't think I don't think if I knew that there was no more books coming that I would be satisfied. I'd be pissed, actually, to be quite honest, the way it was
it.
left.
That's what I was about to say. I was going this shit weekly waiting for them shits to drop, and I had to
Y-
sell.
Word, I'd be mad as hell if they were like, if it was like Netflix and they were like canceled, I'd be like, fuck you. I'd be so tight
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
I was thinking
It's
what it was.
it's almost like if they really wanted to make it where that was the ending, it was gonna leave you on such a sour note. Like they
Exactly. You would have been pissed.
yeah,
You would, because,
like
yeah.
because
But
even though like the demon's initial plan was like I'm gonna say squashed, and I like loosely say that like the immediate threat was halted. It still felt like there's so many holes in it where it's like okay,
exactly. You knew it wasn't over. The immediate threat was gone. So, like, all right, now we need to, like, you felt like, all right, let's regroup and find out what's the next attack and what we're going to do because we didn't kill it. Like, it's still out there.
yes,
Almost like the end of, like, Stranger Things season 4. Like, when they look out and they see, like, the city is like, they're like, fuck, we didn't, like, accomplish it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't accomplished. It was just like, all right, things are kind of like halted for right now.
that's actually really good. I didn't think of that. The way sorry, with the way you said it with Stranger Things, that kind of sorry,
No, yes.
that's kind of like an epiphany moment. Like, huh?
Yeah. What do you think, Jackson?
I think they don't leave it ambiguous. I think they foreshadow there's more
I agree.
for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Rain, what you think, Rain?
I agree. Um, you know, it if they made it where it was a standalone, there would have been too many sour grapes with it. But you knew that there was something more with it.
Yeah, I can't wait to start book 2 tomorrow. The Night of the Sword.
That's a fact. So, what we think in 3 weeks?
Um, I probably can get through that sooner because I'm on summer break. I'm off from work. There's no school right now, but that's probably selfish thinking. So 3 weeks works for me.
Like, want to give Rain a chance, give Jackson a chance to get that next book in. I know that shit by heart, but I'm probably going to redo it anyway because I enjoy the story and keep me refreshed.
Yeah, hell yeah. We'll do it in 3 weeks. That's perfect.
Perfect.
Whenever
All right,
you're
so
ready,
before we
Hefe.
wrap this up, let's get a rating for this book, 1 through 10. Jen, what you doing?
I give it a 10. I was super psyched by the end of this book, especially coming off the novella. I fucking loved it and it made me want more. I didn't really find, I thought it was well written and it gave us a lot of depth and detail, setting us up for this universe and world that it's expanding upon. So I kind of like that we got some of those backstories and we really got this in-depth character build on multiple characters. So I loved it. 10 out of 10.
Jackson.
I'm gonna give it a 10 as well.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah,
Rain.
really liked it. It pretty much it resonates with everything else I read. It seems like it just all goes together, so it's like perfect.
Yay, I agree too.
Rain, what you think, brother?
I'm. I feel bad, but I got to give it like probably a 9. Great character development, and they've instead of just trying to like skim over everything, you know, they actually, which you don't always kind of see it anymore, where they, you know, but they cared about like explaining some of the stuff. So um, I'm gonna go with the 9 just because if I feel like I give you that 10, I'm gonna say that it was perfect. That there was nothing that I would change, and I just want to give
There was
myself maybe a
there's stuff you would
9.5 anyway,
change?
but you know, it's just it was a really good book.
I'm intrigued. What would you change, Rain?
Well,
And I'm just asking because I'm now that I'm thinking about it now. What would I change? So what would you change?
Uh, I have to really think about that. I was more trying to give myself leeway for stuff that I probably thought about that I haven't think of it this second.
Mm.
What would I do? I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything right now. I'm sorry.
all right.
What about
Fine.
Two Bears' is like interactions? Would you change anything with his character? Because that's the only character.
All
I
right.
know where it's going. I know where it's going, so I'm gonna say, hey, man, I'm glad they
Are you
did it.
reading my mind already, Miguel?
Listen, I'm glad they did what they did and how they did it because it's serious. It's serious. I know where it's going, so trust me. I'm looking forward to it. And it start getting Ness know. Ness know that it's a demon. Ness know he after her. Ness Ness see him kill in front of her. And then kind of
Uh-huh.
look at her and laugh, like, all right, mommy. He say, you know what I'm saying? That's some
I
crazy shit.
don't know how she handled that because that was some fucking crazy shit. Exactly.
Listen, that was him pressing her. You know what I'm saying? That was him
Mhm.
leaning in like, listen, bitch, you ain't
Flexing.
fucking, you know what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
again, you know what he want. You know what his end goal is. And a
Mm.
demon ain't strong enough to just take it. He gonna press her and press her and press her until she give that shit up. And that's why I said I think he almost won with the ball. Because he pressed it to the point of jumping and killing yourself is not, unaliving yourself is not it. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Right.
hard time got to be super duper duper rough to, you know what I'm saying? That like people
Uh-huh.
that I know that actually did something like that, I can count on one hand. And I'm talking about not all five fingers. That's not
Mm.
stuff that, you know what I'm saying? That like as they go through. I don't allow myself fucking. I don't
N-
know. That shit's crazy.
mm. I know we didn't mention it, and I know we're almost done, but I thought it was also kind of significant that they did it on the holiday that they chose. And we don't have to really get into that arc because I want to see where it goes for book two. But I thought that that was kind of significant as well. It can go so many different ways with symbolism. And I'm sure Jackson's probably thought of that as well. But considering the weekend that this entire plot line falls upon and where the climax actually is and where everything kind of culminates on the 4th of July, especially because, hello, we're the week before the 4th of July. This is fucking perfect. I thought that was
Magic.
really, really interesting, and it really made me think about multiple connections that encompasses.
All right, Jen. What if Pick came to get you? He
Ooh,
knocked on your window at school.
Oh, I'd
Know what I
be
mean?
ooh.
Oh yeah, no, hands down. I'd be like, kids, you can leave early for the day, go to the cafeteria. I'm out. Like that. If it was pick or wreath, oh, bro, I'd be out. There's no question. Fucking don't even send me John Ross. You want shit done? Send me one of the fucking fantastical creatures. I'm fucking out. No questions. Like a child, innocence completely there. No questions fucking asked. I'm out. Out. I'm like, class dismissed. I'm gone. We saving the world.
Ha ha ha. So you would trust Pick before John Ross? Seriously?
Yeah, I don't know this man. I trust the absolutely do I trust a fantastical creature, especially one with like a little moss beard, all looking like a old like Groot. Hell yeah, he mad cute. And Reef, I've always like, bro, I love dogs. I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person. You send me a wolf looking like dog, I'm out. I'm fucking out. I'm like, God, you've answered my prayers. I'm gone.
So I rated probably a 9.5. I won't give it a full 10. And I only won't give it a full 10 because I know where it's going and there's going to be tens and better coming up. So I don't want to give this first introduction. Because remember, in Imaginary Friends wasn't out. This is how people introduced to this world.
Oh, I forgot
Just
about
with
that
running with the
aspect.
demon. Yeah, Imaginary Friend, that little short story kind of broke you into their world, broke you into creatures outside of humans. And keep that in mind. Tick is a creature that's outside of a human,
Right.
that's not necessarily good or evil. You know what I'm saying? Because he could be an asshole. We heard him cursing and flipping and doing all type of dumb shit. So he's not necessarily good or evil. The point is, he's not evil.
No, but he maintains the balance. He maintains the balance, and Wraith protects, and Daniel's fucking us an owl. You send me any one of those three, I'm out. I guess because you know the book of what's coming. So for me, like I guess it can only get better. So to me, I was super super impressed, and I guess I did read it out of sequence because I did read Imaginary Friends first. So being introduced to that fantastical world and seeing that magic can produce miracles, just sets you up for hope coming into this series. And then reading how this book played out and being able to be on the edge of my seat and seeing the connections between adolescence and choices and seeing all the different motifs and themes that were woven throughout it, it was just really a great read. I went through this super quick and it just kept me wanting more. And that's exactly what I want from this type of fantasy book.
I agree. I
But
feel very similar to that.
that's a fact. But it's midnight, y'all. It's getting late. So
Oh,
we're gonna wrap this up and we're gonna do the next one in 3 weeks. Is that enough time, you think, everybody?
Yes,
That's
sir.
perfect.
Yes, sir.
See,
all right.
senor.
Rain is that enough?
Yes, sir.
All right, fair enough. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Jen, what you got coming up? Anything interesting?
Some from videos coming through with Nerd AF. What am I covering? X-Men 97's coming up. I'm covering that on both Nerd AF on Big Ford Entertainment. Still covering different things with Sci-Fi Vision and also with Real Cinema Therapy. And of course, right here on Emerald Realms Network.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jackson, what about you? I heard you dropped some new shit.
Yeah, I did. I got a video out, my first video on my channel,
Yay!
and
Congrats.
I'm working on some other stuff as we speak for some other stuff, some Trump stuff, and I'm hoping I haven't quite decided what else I'm going to cover. I want to let everybody, figure what they're going to do out and see because I don't want to cover the same things. But I want to cover the show Devil May Cry on Netflix. I want to cover House of the Dragon, but there might be people covering it. I also got some gaming stuff in mind going on, and I want to do the Resident Evil Requiem when the new DLC comes out. The new Madden is coming out in August. Grand
Mhm.
Theft Auto is coming out, so there's gonna be a lot of nothing and a lot of everything.
That's what's up.
Fair enough. Rain, what about you, brother? What you got coming up? Rain is actually a chef, and he actually is in two videos with he challenged well, we had him challenge his wife in like a chop like that. Those
Oh,
videos
that's
are
cool. I gotta check
editing,
that
man.
out, Rain.
Yeah,
That
yeah, it's fire.
it was
I think
fun.
you tried 1-1. You had a 1-1 ratio.
I think I got screwed with some of the judges.
That's it. Your fault. My fat ass don't like carrots. You should have knew that. You wasn't gonna get no points for carrot, man.
Wow. Wow.
That's just crazy. You would have gave him points for a carrot, Jeff?
No, I definitely would not have. I'm not gonna lie.
That's it. And I was still nice. I was like, listen, it didn't negate no points. It didn't gain you no points. You know what I'm saying? It just was like an empty space there for me.
Mm.
But yeah, they both put out some phenomenal videos. And well, we gave you an hour, and you had to do six. Like they had to go through like six different items, and it had to be added into their shit. Shit is crazy when they finish editing, they throw it up and they throw it inside of everything.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
did
really
appetizer, entree, dessert. So
I will definitely be a judge, so I can definitely taste test all of that because it sounds delicious, and I love food. I got a fat girl living inside of me, and she has no problem eating.
hilarious. Like, yeah, I weigh 20 pounds, and that's it. A fat girl all day.
All day. I am not
That's
ashamed.
hilarious.
I am not one of those girls that's like, I would like a salad. No, that's my first course, and then keep bringing more food out. The salad is just where I start. That's not my meal. That's a side. That's an appetizer. That's on the side. Not even an appetizer. That just goes on the side. Like that's not a meal. No, 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 no,
That's hilarious. Jen ordered the salad. They try to take the menu. No, no, no. What you doing? Put that shit right back down. We ain't done here. This is just round one. What's wrong with y'all?
no. Hell yeah.
That's hilarious. But again, y'all, I want to thank y'all for rocking me this week. And we'll see y'all in 3 weeks and get to the next book. And trust me, it's gonna be crazy. Wait till you get through it, Jen. And it comes fast. Because again, she knows now. This guy, you know what I'm saying, in front of her. She knows shit is real. This ain't no joke no more.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I am. Thank you
Now,
so
what you
much for
think
introducing
Graham's
me to
gonna
it.
tell him?
What happened?
What do you think Graham's gonna tell him? He'll be like, yo, this nigga killing people.
Eee. I I don't know. I can't even imagine. Hopefully, like I can think of what I want her to tell her, but thinking of what I think she'll tell her, I don't know.
Some dumb shit probably the way it's been going.
Exactly. I feel like she gonna still be an asshole and not tell her what she needs to hear, like I just do.
that's probably how it's gonna be.
Exactly. She gonna leave her to go figure out another fucking mystery that she could have just told her. She would have just been honest and just fucking like had some balls.
That's my thinking. My thinking is gonna come to the point that she's gonna be like, you know what, I got this. And
Word.
there's gonna be a problem. There's gonna be a problem.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's a fact. But again, we'll catch y'all in 3 weeks, and be safe.
Hell yes.
When the moon climbs high and the world's asleep, we gather around where the secrets creep. From fantasy lands to mysteries untold, we chase lost legends and stories of old. Raise your glass and pull up a chair. There's magic and madness floating in the air. Every page we turn reveals something new, 1,000 adventures waiting for you. Light the candles, set the mood. Tonight we're diving deep with the Midnight Law Society, reading between reality, books and brews and memories, lost in literary mysteries. From the emerald realms we proudly roam. Every story feels like home. Come join the family and see. Welcome to the Midnight Lore Society. Jen the teacher brings wisdom and wit. Dark Kaiju's got theories that perfectly fit. Crits are searching every hidden clue, and Rain the overlord sees right through you. We laugh, debate, and analyze, uncover truths behind disguise. Adult conversations flowing free, as wild as imagination can be. Turn the pages, pour another round. The night's just getting started. We're the Midnight Lore Society, reading between reality, books and brews and memories, lost in literary mysteries. From the emerald realms we proudly roam. Every story feels like home. Come join the family and see. Welcome to the Midnight Lore Society. Part of the collective family, dreamers, creators, community. Different voices, one grand tale, setting our imagination sail. Through every chapter, every line, hidden meanings we will find. So gather close and stay a while. Let's journey many midnight miles. We're the Midnight Lore Society, where stories spark eternity. Books and friends and fantasy, sharing every mystery. From the Emerald Realms network bright, keeping stories alive tonight. The collective stands with unity. Welcome to the Midnight Lore Society. But the stories never end. Until next time, welcome to the Midnight Lore Society.